Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority Planning Commission regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, June the 1st, 2026. The meeting is called to order at 6:31 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Present.
Councilmember Marquez is absent, Councilmember Thailenda,
Here.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Can we all please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? Get.
Please remain standing for invocation given by Pastor Sasanian.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts and not acknowledging that you has given us the privilege of living in this community. Lord, we are grateful and we pray for your guidance and your blessing upon the city. Grant us the wisdom, the discernment, the compassion as we make decisions that affect the lives of many. Lord, we also lift up the dedicated employees of our city, our public servants, our first responders, law enforcement officers, firefighters, teachers, healthcare workers. Help us to be the people of character, honesty, and service. Teach us to care for one another, work together with respect, and to always seek the good of our neighbor. May we serve with humility and treat every person with dignity and kindness. We put in your hands the agenda, all the items, and those who participate. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Moving on to the closed session announcement. City Attorney, anything to announce?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Call for a motion.
I would like to request, before you call the motion, that the item on consent, number 12, be pulled for discussion, please. So I motion to pull item number 12 for discussion.
Second.
Okay. So item number 12 is being pulled for discussion, second by, do I have a second?
I second.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez is absent, Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. So moving on to the pulled item from consent for discussion. We start off with number 12. The adopt resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico adopting the list of projects for fiscal year 2026, 2027, funded by SB1, the road repair and accountability. Staff report, please.
No, but that would
But
come
it
up
is- yeah.
once we start with the discussion items.
Yeah, they want
We're
to
just
pull it.
pulling it from the consent.
Okay, so, okay,
We're on the approval of the agenda. That's the
all right.
only change.
Okay. All right, moving on to
Proclamation.
presentations. All right. Declaring the month of June as Men's Mental Health Month. Whereas mental health is a critical component of overall health and well-being, affecting individuals, families, and the broader community. And whereas men are often less likely to seek mental health support due to stigma, culture expectations, no barriers to access, resulting in higher risk of untreated depression, anxiety, substance use disorders, and suicide. And
Whereas in the United States, approximately 4.8% of the adults report
regular feelings of depression, and about 19% of the adults have been diagnosed with a depressive disorder at some point in their lifetime. And whereas men experience depression significant rates but are less likely to be diagnosed or receive treatment, with the recent national data estimating over 6% of the adult men experience a major depressive episode every year, and about 10% show screenings positive of symptoms of depression. Whereas in the United States, men die by suicide at a rate nearly 4 times higher than women, a disparity strong link to untreated and undiagnosed depression, stigma, and barriers to care.
Whereas depression often manifests differently in men, including irritability, anger, fatigue, risk-taking behavior, and substance use, which can contribute to under-recognition and delayed treatment. Whereas raising awareness about men's mental health encourages early intervention, reduces stigma, and promotes life-saving resources and support systems.
Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico proclaim the month of June as Men's Mental Health Month in the City of Calexico, and that it encourages residents, community partners, and organizations to participate in programs, activities, and conversations that promote awareness, prevention, and support for men's mental health. Be it further resolved that the City of Calexico reaffirms its commitment to fostering a healthy, informed, and compassionate community where mental health is openly discussed and supported and prioritized.
In witness thereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on this 3rd day of June, 2026. Do we have a representative, Mario Conde? You can come up and receive the certificate.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mayor Legaspi, City Council members. Mario Conde, President of the Rotary Club of Calexico. We've been in service for the City of Calexico for 104 years, and one of our main projects that we have in our club is mental health. I'm the president right now, so one of my pet projects is to increase the awareness of mental health, especially on Men's Mental Health. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and part of our role is to bring awareness about this, because men are told since the day they were born that they had to, not show emotion, and that creates a lot of problems, which leads to suicide. So my message, and I want to invite the public. We have an event on Monday, June 8th, at the Camarena Library. My thanks to Lisette for allowing us to use the premises again. We're going to have a keynote speaker, Mr. Brandon Brown, who is the founder, president of Reps for Beds. And after Brandon's keynote speech, there's going to be a panel in Spanish moderated by Nami of Imperial Valley. So my message to all the men, all the boys, if you feel something, if you feel emotional, there's no problem to cry, because that's good for your mental health. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mario. And we have another presentation?
No, we have a public comment for item number 3. Joanna Espinosa.
Hello, buenas tardes, everyone. I want to start by saying that I appreciate that you all are bringing such an important topic to this room, and that there is, valid information that was shared, such as statistics about men's mental health. It is a serious issue, and it deserves the attention that it is getting today. But I also want to highlight that June is also Pride Month, and that there are also mental health implications to recognizing and uplifting the LGBTQIA community as well. We can't ignore it, and it really does send a clear message when you do a recognition for one thing but not the other, and so much with the context that we have lived here in Calexico, where the only trans city council member that ever was historically was recalled. So again, this is all sending a very clear message to queer youth that are part of our community, whether some of y'all want it or not. They exist. I was one of them. I identify as non-binary, and I grew up, in this environment where it does lead to, certain issues as you become aware or get to discover your own identity, and it comes in conflict with your mental health aware as well. And I've been an educator, and I've also witnessed the way that the environment around them makes them feel. How people being closeted for so long also leads to anger management issues, to depression, to suicide attempts. So I did want to share some of those statistics with you all. So for example, suicide is the second leading cause amongst young people, but with lesbian, gay, and bisexual youth, they tend to contemplate suicide almost 3 times more than heterosexual youth or straight youth. Of all the suicide attempts that are made by youth, there were almost 5 times as likely to require medical treatment than those that are straight youth. These suicide attempts also are directly related to them questioning their identity. And I don't want to share this part because it might be triggering, but again, there's just a higher chance for their attempt to require medical assistance than others, their counterparts. And in another national study, 40% of transgender adults reported having made a suicide attempt. 92% of these individuals reported having an attempted suicide before the age of 25. Lesbian, gay, and bisexual youth who come from highly rejecting families are 8.4 times as likely to have attempted suicide as much as their lesbian, gay, or bisexual peers who have reported no or low levels of family rejection. And then 1 out of 6 students nationwide from grades 9 to 12 seriously considered suicide in the past year. And these are all statistics from the Trevor Project, which, if y'all are aware, it's a national nonprofit that serves the LGBTQIA youth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No more comments? Okay. Moving on to presentation given by Chief Orozco regarding the citizens reporting application. Chief?
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members, members of the public. The City of Calexico is proud to present, with the Police Department heading this project, Calexico Relay. It's a project that we are intending to put out in the next few months with the help of one of our internal employees. And the basic of this program is basically a portal for complaints to report issues, so that way there's accountability, transparency, which is what our public requires of us. And it's basically us showing that we're listening to the public and that we're making changes to their requests. So this is, the first slide shows you the website and also what it's going to look like on your cell phone. It's going to be, should be easy to navigate through this. It'll be in bilingual, both in English and Spanish. And so it can be submitted from any device. You'll be able to take photos, location, and a summary of what the problem is. It could be anonymous or it could be identified. And it'll instantly give you a ticket number. What this will do is when you report, let's say, a pothole, once you complete the submittal, it'll give you a ticket number, and you'll be able to track it that way. So obviously, some of the good points of this, it's got the official City of Calexico banner for branding, prominent start request to call to action button, which is that blue bar that's right there. Live alerts, news section for the city updates. So this is another portal where you can get alerts, updates on the 2 little boxes below the start report. Event section to keep citizens informed. accessible via QR code, which is a big thing now, and direct URL. There's no login required, no accounts, and it's fully mobile and responsible, works on any smart device. So you don't have to download an app, you don't have to register, it's just click away, take a picture, and go forward. So here's a more expanded view of what we're looking at. So some of the push buttons make it a lot easier. Pothole, road damage, code enforcement violations, traffic concerns, building violations, sewer and water issues. We can adjust this to the needs of the public. If there's another topic that's very prevalent, we can add another tab. So that way it makes it easier. Once you hit the tab and you submit this report, it goes directly to that department. So it's basically your direct connect to the individual department, which will help minimize who do you talk to, where do you report this, which is a big issue that we're seeing when people come into the city hall or trying to report issues. So this would be the second page that you're going to see. It's going to give you after you click what you're reporting, you're going to be able to either click your GPS on your phone, and it'll put either a dot, or you can submit your actual address or the address of the location. Right there, you could use my location, address input, and then we're also going to have a city staff input for that too. Step 3, you can take a photo and add your contact information. So you can upload a photo, take a picture of the problem there, or let's say you take a photo, you get home, you can upload it. So you don't actually have to be at the location, you just can get the address or the street's at. You can submit obviously anonymously, or you can do an optional contact information. Step 4, like I mentioned before, it's going to give you a confirmation number, and that's going to be your tracking. So you'll get that confirmation number. It's a unique ticket number that's going to track the progress. So you'll be able to log back in based on that information, and you'll be able to see where it's at. Let's say it's a parking issue. You could say it got sent to the lieutenant or the chief of police. The chief of police assigned it to the traffic controller. And it'll give you a chronological of where it's at and the disposition of that case. Or, for example, a pothole. It got sent to Public Works. Now it's scheduled to be fixed next week. So you know that by next week it'll get fixed. And then once it's fixed, you'll get a completion on it. And so that's going to alleviate the workload also for the administrators having to field these calls, instead of now you got the information at the tip of your fingers. So it makes it a little bit better connectivity between the city and its employees. And so these are 3 users that we're going to propose. One's going to be the citizen, which is you folks that will be able to submit the reports, admin, which is the person that's going to be running the program, and then the supervisors that's going to be able to send out the work orders to their personnel. And so that's it for my presentation. There's just some key points that we mentioned before. There's no download, no registration, report an issue. You can do it under 60 seconds, fully bilingual and mobile first. It's 3-tier system, citizen, admin, supervisor. One thing that we've foreseen in doing is printing out QR codes and putting them out in parks, public areas, windows here. So that way, it'll make it easier if you see graffiti at the park, scan the QR code, submit your request. Same thing if you have any complaints here at City Hall, they'll point you to that QR code, and it gets submitted, and it gets routed to the right department. And I'll take any questions if you have.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor? Are we going to also develop some policy to where there's deadlines? So if somebody submits a request, that we have an obligation to respond to that request within 10 days, 14 days, so that, we have that as policy?
Well, we could do that. Obviously, when you open up the request, it's going to show when the request was made, and if it's 2 weeks into it and there's not been a response, you're going to have kind of hard to explain why it's taken 2 weeks to at least assign it for some work. If, let's say, you have to wait for machinery or a work order, obviously it's being explained as it's going through there, so the public should be up to date. If it's just that's been submitted and it hasn't been addressed, then I think
So that's the point of my question, is that I believe we should adopt a policy so that it's a requirement that if for some reason we have to pass a certain timeline, that we're at least obligated to respond to that individual and say, we need a little bit more time or whatever, because if the citizens are going to come out and help us report these issues, we don't want them to feel ignored, and so I think that along with this, we should have policy.
Yes, ma'am, we can do that.
That's my opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions?
Well, yes. Does this app have like an audit that you can go back and see?
Well, I have my technical expert. If that one, I'll have to refer it to Mr. Valladolid. Do you want to answer that question? He's the techie that, the mastermind behind the.
Well, because that way it would eliminate some of the calls that have not been addressed.
Yeah, what was the question?
If this app, you can run an audit, every month and make sure that the
Like it
calls
was
that were made
processed
were
or-
answered.
Yes.
There is.
We can add anything, or if you guys want to add it, anything you guys want to add to the app, and but it does have you can check the reports, the report number, to check the actual logs, who checked it, who received it, and who sent it. So,
Oh, great. The who, what, when, and how.
yes,
All right.
that's great.
That's all I have. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on to announcements. Do we have any announcements? Council members? All right. Moving on to public comments and public appearance. City Attorney?
Thank you. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. The city clerk will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name, place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. Group commentators may be requested to limit their group comments to 15 minutes. The City Council is prohibited by law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comments when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions or comments to the City Council. The Mayor and the City Council reserve the right to adjust this time limit based on the number of speakers who wish to address the Mayor and City Council.
The non-agenda items will be limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. If additional time is required for the public comments, they will be heard towards the end of the meeting after discussion and potential action items. Right now it's 6:55 p.m. and public comments will pause at 7:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. First speaker is Carolina Muñoz.
I'm going to read it in Spanish. Buenas tardes, señor alcalde y miembros del Consejo Municipal. Mi nombre es Carolina Muñoz y soy la secretaria de la Asociación de Empleados Municipales de Calexico, CMEA. CMEA representa 45 empleados y ha permanecido sin contrato desde julio del 2025. Durante los últimos años, el costo de vida, los servicios públicos, los alimentos, el combustible y otros gastos esenciales han aumentado significativamente. Si bien continuamos comprometidos con nuestro trabajo y nuestras responsabilidades, nuestra compensación actual no ha mantenido el ritmo de estos incrementos en el costo de vida. Además, retener personal experimentado y capacitado es fundamental para mantener operaciones eficientes y brindar servicios públicos de calidad. Por ello, solicitamos una compensación competitiva, ya que constituye un factor importante para atraer y conservar personal calificado. Respetuosamente solicitamos a la Administración y al Consejo Municipal que revisen la compensación de los empleados y consideren implementar un ajuste por costo de vida que refleje las condiciones económicas actuales. Gracias por su tiempo y su consideración.
Rocío Vázquez Alvarado. Carmen Estrada.
¿Cómo están? Bueno, creo que la señora Carmen Estrada fue la que quería hablar, así que le doy la palabra.
Buenas tardes, soy Carmen Estrada, soy presidenta y fundadora de la Liga
Can you get
CPA.
closer to the mic? Más cerca? Thank you.
Buenas tardes, soy Carmen Estrada, soy la presidenta y la fundadora de la Liga CPA. Pues aquí estamos con ustedes con mucho orgullo debido a que estamos muy felices porque Public Works está haciendo su excelente trabajo. Su excelente trabajo, y lo voy a volver a repetir, y si lo tengo que repetir bastantes veces lo voy a hacer. Por 30 años no se hizo nada en Calexico, yo ya los tengo en los parques hasta ahora. Los 30 años se hicieron 4 meses que están trabajando excelentemente. Tiene un equipo completo, están al 100. Y lo dice una señora que ha estado 30 años en campos, dándoles mantenimiento, sembrándolos, regándolos, y estoy muy emocionada. Y sé que todos me creen porque es verdad. No hay más ambulancias en los campos a partir desde hace 4 meses, porque los campos estamos hablando de un 90%. Entonces, queremos llegar al 100, señor. Gracias. Y aquí estamos también porque muchos de nuestros equipos son campeones a nivel internacional y nacional. Pero ahorita estoy más emocionada que nunca porque aquí el niño Sebastián fue a competir a un estatal, fueron campeones nacionales. Y luego fueron a Los Mochis, Sinaloa, y el niño es campeón goleador y su equipo ganó campeones nacionales. Entonces, ¿cómo no vamos a estar orgullosos aquí en Calexico que nuestros niños están representando a nivel nacional? Es internacional, es 2020 el niño. Y así como él, hay muchos equipos que son competitivos y estoy, no sé, llena de emoción, muy emocionada, porque más antes era estrés, porque se inundaban los campos, y ahora estoy feliz. No sé qué palabras decir, pero tú sabes, ¿verdad? Que estoy feliz porque el concilio está al 100 con nosotros, y eso era lo que queríamos. Aquí está el niño Sebastián. ¿Cómo no? ¿Cómo no? Sebastián, mi amor, aquí está, aquí. Permítame. Sebastián Alonso Cárdenas. Mira, mi amor. Mira, mi amorcito. El niño fue campeón goleador internacional también. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Gracias.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Michelle.
Te va a hablar.
Hold on.
Ella es.
Okay.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Michelle Díaz. Este es mi hijo Sebastián Cárdenas. Muchas gracias a todos por su tiempo y por su atención el día de hoy. Solamente para agradecerles a todos, más que nada a la señora Estrada y a la señora Cónsul por invitarnos y estar presentes aquí con ustedes para compartir esta experiencia tan bonita que pudimos llevar a cabo hace 2 semanas. Esto no hubiera sido posible sin el apoyo de la señora Estrada y de la señora Cónsul. La señora Cónsul, tuvimos una experiencia extraordinaria en el cónsul. Ella nos ayudó para poder obtener la doble nacionalidad para que mi hijo en especial pudiera participar en este nacional que se llevó en Los Mochis, Sinaloa. Un equipo de trabajo excelente, muy profesional y siempre muy dispuestos a ayudarnos. Entonces, los invito a todos, si tienen la posibilidad o hay algún tipo, ustedes tienen algún familiar, tienen a alguien que ustedes conozcan y puedan explotar el potencial en cualquier deporte, se acerquen sin dudarlo con la señora Cónsul aquí en el consulado, porque estoy segura que van a tener una experiencia muy grata. También muchas gracias a la señora Estrada por ayudarnos y siempre mirar por el bien de todos los niños y los jóvenes aquí en la ciudad de Calexico. Nosotros somos parte de esta liga, pertenecemos aquí con ella y siempre hemos tenido una muy buena experiencia. Más que nada, ella siempre busca la manera de ayudarnos en lo personal y también lo puedo mirar en particularmente en todos los niños. Siempre mira por cómo poder apoyar y cómo poder que su liga siga creciendo un poquito más. Estoy muy agradecida pues fuimos a este nacional y como lo comenté anteriormente, se lo comenté a la señora Estrada, no solamente fuimos a representarlo a él o a los niños, solamente fuimos a presentar también a toda la comunidad, a los profesores que ellos tienen, a los niños y a todo el talento, a los padres de familia, a la comunidad, al Valle Imperial, en este caso fue pues Baja California, y estamos muy agradecidos con toda la comunidad porque hay un gran apoyo de todos, no solamente de ellos, sino de la comunidad en general también. Es por eso que nos gustaría darle un reconocimiento a la señora cónsul, se los voy a leer. Es un in sincere appreciation for your invaluable support and commitment to the youth of CPAA League, making it possible for our players to participate in the national championship held in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. Your dedication and empowerment for youth athletes and creating opportunities for their growth and success has made a lasting impact on our community. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
Juan Morán.
Felicidades a los campeones. Part 4. Buenas noches, Honorable Mayor, Council members, staff, and members of the public. Juan Moran from Vega Street, Calexico. Tonight, I want to continue this informative series by looking at 3 real-world examples of charter cities in California. These case studies simply show how different communities have used charter authority to shape their own governance. Let's begin with San Fernando, one of the smallest charter cities in Los Angeles County. San Fernando adopted its charter in 1911 and uses that authority to maintain local administrative flexibility. The city can adjust internal procedures, departmental organization, and day-to-day operational rules without waiting for state-level updates. For a small community, this ability to fine-tune internal systems is essential for responsiveness and efficiency. Our second example is Chula Vista, a regional neighbor to the west and one of the largest charter cities in the state. Chula Vista's charter, adopted in 1949, focuses heavily on governance design and long-term institutional structure. Over time, the city has amended its charter to refine the roles of elected officials, clarify administrative responsibilities, and modernize its internal framework as the population and regional demands have grown. Chula Vista shows how a charter can evolve with the community and support stable, long-term governance. A third example is Palm Springs, a mid-sized charter city in Riverside County. Palm Springs has been governed as a charter city since 1994. The city uses its charter to shape policies around tourism, redevelopment, and local revenue tools in ways that align with its economic base. This flexibility has allowed Palm Springs to tailor its long-term economic stability. These examples highlight an important point. Charter authority is flexible. Some cities use it to fine-tune internal administration. Others use it to define their governance structure. Others use it to support economic development and local regulatory control. What matters is that each community made choices that align with its size, its challenges, and its long-term vision. In the next part of this series, I will discuss how a charter authority interacts with administrative capacity, including how cities organize themselves, manage projects, and position themselves for grants and other opportunities. These practical considerations help us understand not just what a charter is, but how it can shape the day-to-day functioning of a city. So tonight, I will close with this thought. Let's imagine a Calexico that studies the experiences of other cities, learns from their choices, and uses that knowledge to shape a model that fits our unique border community. Thank you.
June Kim.
Good evening, council and city employees and the citizens. I have some positive feeling about the police departments now. They're showing they're willing to serve the community. I'm very glad to see that movement, but at the same time I'm sad because city of Calexico, they're not supporting our police department and then failing to support the community. The ratio for the population of the city, we should have 50 police officers. We have 18 police officers. Now we have endangering our citizens because of the less number of the necessary police officers. Same time, we are endangering our police officer too. Mr. Gaspi, you are police, and you are police chief. I believe you know what I'm saying. I thought you were going to be working on the increasing our police officers, but I don't think so. You guys making a clapping for the balanced budget. So where is the balanced budget? We sacrifice our citizens' security. At the same time, I've been seeing the city employees again about the negotiation. I believe that all the city employees or government employees is supposedly take it a certain level of the salaries and plus COLAs, the living cost of us. Right now, last thing increased it, and we don't have ability of adjusting. So I'd like to see finishing the year negotiation with the city employees so they can deal with the customers, citizens, so we calm down and at least without burden of their life. And also, I like to see that their COLAs implementing every year. Thank you.
Astrid Calderas.
Buenas tardes, miembros del concilio y miembros del público. Soy Astrid Calderas y soy directora de la Asociación de Conciencia y Salud y miembro del Comité de Justicia Ambiental de la Frontera. La razón por la cual estoy aquí es para invitarlos a un evento que vamos a tener para celebrar el Día Mundial del Medio Ambiente, en el cual participaron niños y jóvenes de nuestra ciudad. Y quiero compartir con ustedes sus preocupaciones y ellos compartieron algunas ideas para mejorar la calidad de nuestro ambiente. Principalmente tienen preocupaciones del aspecto de nuestra ciudad. No les gusta ver basura o ver los parques sucios. Otra de sus grandes preocupaciones es la calidad del agua. Estamos hablando del medio ambiente. Tienen mucha preocupación cuando escuchan sobre Salton City. Tienen mucha preocupación las personas que viven cerca del Río Nuevo por el aroma. En veces no pueden salir al parque, no pueden gozar porque es muy desagradable para ellos vivir en estas condiciones. Otras de sus grandes preocupaciones que son respecto a la calidad del aire. En ocasiones se dice que no se puede ver la contaminación porque tiene algún aroma desagradable, pero en nuestro caso es muy evidente y los niños miran las columnas de humo, miran todo el polvo que se genera cuando están trabajando en la agricultura y pues ellos nos mencionan que estábamos hablando sobre parques que han tenido ustedes reuniones, de que no servirían los parques si los niños, quienes tienen asma, quienes tienen eczema, quienes tienen sangrados nasales, no pueden salir porque las condiciones ambientales que tenemos específicamente en la ciudad de Calexico son muy críticas. Así es que en representación de estos niños y de estos jóvenes, les pregunto a ustedes qué planes tienen para mejorar la calidad de nuestro ambiente, la calidad del agua y para asegurar que ninguna otra fuente de contaminación se siga sumando a estar afectando nuestro medio ambiente. Tengo una mini actividad, pero no sé si me va a alcanzar el tiempo, no sé cuántos segundos tengo.
46 seconds.
Ok. Con los niños y jóvenes hacemos una actividad y ellos escogen una fuente de contaminación que realmente les preocupa, y como ustedes miraron en el póster, aquí tenemos múltiples fuentes de contaminación. En ocasiones para ese juego nomás ocupamos una planta nuclear. Como les comenté ahorita, les preocupa las quemas, les desagrada la quema, les desagrada visualmente cómo se ve y el aroma, y esto representa nuestro aire limpio como lo tenemos que tener. Tenemos una fuente que son las quemas, les desagrada la basura. I'm sorry. Son dos fuentes aquí, nomás un segundo, I'm sorry. Otra de ellas, el olor a químicos. Cuando salen dicen que se les irritan los ojos, la piel. Esto nada más son 3 fuentes de las muchas que tiene Calexico. ¿Y qué es lo que observamos? Pues se genera un cóctel súper tóxico. Nosotros merecemos que nuestros hijos y nuestros jóvenes crezcan en un ambiente sano. Por eso les pido que se implementen acciones para mejorar la situación. Gracias.
Thank you.
Joana Espinosa.
Sorry, okay. So I'm speaking up as a community member and resident of Calexico in support of the fair wages for the public workers that are present here today. Again, like I'm just speaking as a community member because I witnessed the hard work that they put in by keeping our parks clean, our streets clean, and by making everything function the way that it's supposed to here in the city. Last meeting, I saw that you all gave a recognition to one of the city employees because it was, I don't know if it was National Public Work Recognition Day, but meanwhile, everyone else was out there chanting and, you know, like asking for fair wages. And I really thought that was a little bit hypocritical. I know that there's talks behind closed doors already happening, so I'm just here to really echo what they're asking for, and it's to keep the negotiations open until they really reach the contract that they're asking you guys for. This is about, they're advocating for their dignity, really, because I know that a lot of the people sitting here get paid 3 figures, and it's not fair that wealth is not being distributed the way that it's supposed to with the people that also do the hard work here. I mean, staying indoors in the AC is very different than being outdoors right now during the rising heat that we're experiencing. We have like 123 days a year of 100+ degrees outside. So again, this is on humanizing your workers who are also our neighbors. They pick up the trash, and you all get to really sometimes, you know, take the credit for all of those things because you're implementing this initiative and that other thing, but the ones that really do the work are sitting right now here asking you to pay them enough for that work that they do. And that's really it for me. Thank you.
Ismael Orbizu.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Council. If you're capable of making a Citizens Portal mobile app to give Public Works a bigger workload, I think you guys can pay the department more, and especially what they deserve. I've always wanted to apply for Public Works, but when I would see the application, I would say they're paying too little to even apply. Now, not really worth it for me. These people always work day and night, so we can live with a stress-free life in our community. They've been here for weeks asking for a raise. Give them what they want so they can go home. Legaspi, I heard you talking to the police chief saying how, they're being rude, making noise, whatever. They could be going home without a stress in your life or theirs if you just pay them what they deserve. It's in your hands to allow these people to go home and live and have a livable wage. If you're unwilling to cooperate, don't be upset that they're bringing it to the chamber. Also, there's been so many flock cameras popping up around their county and around our whole nation as a whole. Automatic license plate readers is what they're called, but they will tell you when you're crossing a county line or just going from city to city or even on our border patrol, right? We see it in our checkpoints. But recently, we've been seeing them pop out of any corner that they can. We see them in Home Depot, Lowe's. I saw one at Costco between the bushes. I'm not sure why they would need so many license plate readers. They say it's against, stealing or whatnot, but it's almost impossible to steal from Costco, so it's deeper than that. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if there's some in Calexico, but I swear I saw some coming out of Walmart and Applebee's. Rest in peace, because it's going to close soon. Also, when you're going to San Diego on the 98th, if you're going to the desert, there's a bridge where if you cross a bridge, just so everyone can know, and you see 2 orange cones, big, wide orange and white cones, and they get caught in the middle, you have the license plate readers where you get recorded. And that's mass surveillance that's happening all around our nation, which is many times is unconstitutional. How can we even have so much information of us going everywhere at all times? They know where our phone is. They know where our logins are at. Why would they need our license plates as well and where they're at? Palantir. Palantir is one of the deadliest companies that the U.S. funds. Palantir funds war around the world. Palantir helps find criminals in our U.S., but also Palantir supports ICE and the detention of people unconstitutional, which is we're going through a very horrible time in our nation where private police, the HSI thinks that they're above the Constitution. And these are all massive factors why item blank and blank, 14-15 moratorium is very much necessary. We're seeing our county fight individuals going up. I'm talking about flock cameras. In the end of the day, data centers are not welcome here. You should vote no.
Thank you.
Vote yes on the moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ricardo Romero.
I want to share something with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. This is for the as well. Hi, Ricardo Romero, 1045 Desert View. I want to address the city's official social media presence and ask the council to take action. I will start with what happened to me personally. Nuri Kumbo posted a photograph of me on the Team Calexico Facebook page, a page operated by Nuri Kumbo and Councilmember Thailinda, 2 sitting elected officials, with the caption, "Now let's give our readers some background about you, just so they know why you're here." I want to be clear about what that required. The comment she responded to was made under a character profile, not my legal name, not my main account. She made it her business to find out who I was, obtain a photograph of me, and publish it to her following. I am a Calexico resident who exercised my right to public comment. What I received in return was 2 sitting elected officials using their platform to unmask and expose me. That page may not be the city's official account, but the people running it hold seats on this council. That distinction does not make what happened acceptable. I want that on the record. And I'm asking a public apology from Nuri Kumbo, who just walked outside when she saw me step in. And I want this council to understand that this is the specific behavior I'm here to address tonight. Doxing, the malicious act of publicly revealing private, personally identifiable information about someone online without their consent. Can I report that with the app? Doxing? I'm going to read 2 additional posts that were published on that same platform. The first post attributes business closures in downtown Calexico to in downtown Calexico to specific elected officials by name, calls them a political experiment, and asks the community to weigh in on their fitness to serve. The second post uses a photograph taken at a public memorial ceremony to insinuate improper personal conduct between a council member and a city department director, and asks the community whether they think this friendship is appropriate. These are not informational posts, these are targeted political attacks published through a platform associated with city governance against private individuals and elected officials with no moderation of community responses and no factual sourcing provided. I want to draw the council's attention to precedent. In March 2022, the Imperial Irrigation District Board passed a formal resolution, a censure, after a director used social media accounts associated with the district to make statements the board determined violated the organization's ethic policies. The board voted 3-1. The resolution was partly adopted to distance the agency from legal liability. That liability concern is exactly what I'm raising tonight. When a government-associated account targets named individuals with political accusations and invites the public to pile on, the city of Calexico takes on a potential legal exposure, city attorney. The people being attacked have had no notice and no opportunity to respond through the same channel. I'm asking Councilmember Calderon to make a motion for a formal censure resolution addressing the use of city-associated social media for targeted political content. I'm also asking that any city-associated social media accounts either operate without comment moderation, the same standard applied to the people they attack, or limit posts strictly to official city business.
Thank you, sir.
I'm almost done. Allow comments on both YouTube live streams and Facebook streams.
Thank you, sir.
Don't silence the people watching.
Thank you.
Almost done. Almost done.
We're past the 3 minutes, sir. We're past the 3 minutes.
Can I get extent? Can I get
Sir.
an extent for my disability? ADHD. Thank you. One additional question I would like answered on the record tonight is to Michael Coyne. I'm asking the city planning and building director, Michael Coyne, whether or not he has any personal or family relationships with individuals named Marty Coyne or Travis Coyne that would be relevant to any city business contracts or land use decisions he will solely be presiding over without a planning committee.
Please address the council,
I would
sir.
like this answer stated on the record.
Please address the council. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Arturo Medina.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos, city council members in public. I was going to speak in opposition to data centers because this is a highly...
You need to wait until that comes out.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Well, in that case, I'd like to speak on behalf of the application that you have just presented to report. I heard the word potholes twice. I want to remind the council, and I know this is not just your issue, because I've been complaining about the potholes and the need to repair Balquer and Jasper roads for 16 years now, okay? I've been also requesting a stop sign at Nixon and Meadows Avenue, and so I hope that application kind of speeds up this needed process, because it's very dangerous to drive on Balker or Jasper, any of those roads, really. Sometimes people drive at 70 miles through there, and it needs to be repaired. Thank you.
Héctor Mesa.
Good afternoon, Mayor Leazpi. Good afternoon, board. I'm going to say this in Spanish. Es inaceptable que ya lleven casi un año sin tener un contrato los empleados de la ciudad. Por favor, nada más se les pide respetuosamente que hagan algo porque es injusto para ellos estar yendo cada día a trabajar mientras no tienen un contrato seguro. Gracias.
Luis Pacheco.
On the lighter side,
IID Director Luis Pacheco. Good evening. I'd like to mention that we have grant programs valuing $2.5 million that we submitted and have it currently. We have a GEMS program that modernizes the HVAC that we have currently assisting the libraries and our high schools. 54 people have applied for those and are receiving HVAC units. We have Trees for All, $576,250 for public trees to make sure that we have green public and green spaces in our communities. 18 people will receive that applicant. The Glow, green lighting for outdoor wellness, improving lighting with power lights with new LED lights to replace the old Mercuries. We have 13 schools and 13 cities receiving those lights. Our Dippy Duck is 60 years old. We're going to have a little birthday bash for him tomorrow. I take it back, Saturday, at the Aquatic Center in El Centro from 10 to 3. And kids have already been selected by the schools, and they have their tickets to go, and it's from 10 to 3 o'clock, and Dippy will be there to take photos. We'll have hot dogs, drinks, and snacks, so it's a good time for everybody. We're expecting a little over 1,000 kids there. The other item we have is this summer we're providing $48 million back to our ratepayers so they can use that for their summer bills so they can pay their bills. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco.
Norma Aguilar.
(839) Heber Avenue. Got out of bed because you never approved the agenda. You went from pulling item number 12 and you pulled it, but you never went back to approve the agenda.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay, well, it might be good to let the community know because it's really unsettling when I come and ask and I get told that the attorney says it's okay. Given the situation that we, and I'm speaking as we as a city are in, where we are always being publicly scrutinized, not doing things by the way that Robert Rules sets it, doesn't provide good optics. I look a mess, but I know what I'm talking about. I know Robert's rules, and you need to approve the agenda. Thank you.
No more comments.
No more? Okay, so moving on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. The first item I wanted to mention was that I'm asking the council to hold a special budget session on June 10th here in these chambers. That's next Wednesday at 5 p.m. The second item is, for those that have not heard, Applebee's restaurant is going to close. Their last day of business is going to be June 16th. We are in touch with the operators and ownership of the franchise, and we're working with them, listening to them. They are going to close on the 16th. I want to make that clear, but there still is some hope for things in the future, and we'll continue to work on that and keep the council and the public posted. The basic reason for the closure is the high cost of operating in California, and also lack of a lunchtime business. The Denny's reconstruction. So we did meet with Denny's. They are going to reconstruct, and they promise the restaurant to be bigger and better. So we don't want to say much more than that until we get more details. and make them public, but the owner, Mr. Campillo, did promise bigger and better. And that'll take at least 1 year to complete. And lastly, I wanted to report on the Gran Plaza Mall. We do have the TJ Maxx store opening. I don't have a date on that yet, but it is essentially under construction. And I know that's a store that's going to perform very well for the mall and the city and the region. We are functioning a left-hand turn lane coming for people crossing into Calexico from Mexicali. This is at 2nd and Cesar Chavez Boulevard. So we are providing safe and effective traffic control to allow that left-hand turn lane to operate at peak times. And that's really important to allow, people that want to head west on 2nd Avenue Street to do so. The mall has also announced that they're going to be bringing back their shuttle service. So we don't have details on and timing on that yet, but their shuttle service is in the process of coming back. And lastly, we're also working to install directional banners on the sign light posts along Cesar Chavez Boulevard. So a lot of good things. Also, if it hadn't been heard, and this is a longer term project, it won't happen immediately, but the mall is looking to enclose. So as we know, it was originally built as an outdoor mall, but they're working to enclose the mall. So the shopping experience will be mostly interior once it's completed, and will be a much more comfortable situation. Hopefully drive people to frequent, stay at the mall, and shop some more. So that ends my report. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Moving on to any commissioners' reports? No? Moving on to council comments, reports, meetings attended. Councilmember Nena Nerukumbo.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to address the gentleman that came up to speak about Team Calexico. And I just wanted to comment that even though some people might not like how two of the council members up here communicate with our constituents, a lot of people actually do. So, it's in the eye of the beholder. You have your right to say whatever you want, and just because we're elected officials doesn't mean that our freedom of speech goes away. So there is a lot of miscommunication throughout the valley, not just in Calexico. And a lot of things are being said about many of us that are not true. So we have the right to put that out there. If you don't like it, don't go on our page. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Councilmember Lisa Telenda, comments?
Good evening, members of the public. Thank you so much for coming out. I want to say that we've been working hard on special tax. There's been a lot of meetings, and that's something that we're going to be seeing in the future agenda, I believe. And there's an item on tonight's agenda that's really important, and it's not only the one for the moratorium, but it's also for the special tax, so we can review that too. So I hope you guys stay and participate in that as well. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Lencho Calderon.
Thank you, Mayor. And good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'd like to start by, if you're from Calexico, you know that these two businesses were in trouble many, many years before we even got on this diocese. It wasn't us that caused the closures. It's just business. And I can't go into details because if you really look at the story, it's not us. With that said, I'll continue with my meetings that I had since our last council meeting. May 21st, Mayor Legaspi and I met with the Grand Plaza staff, at which time, like the city manager was saying, The left turn was established, so those that are coming from Mexicali can turn now left and be able to purchase items in the outlets. Also, there is going to be, like the city manager said, a shuttle that will be taking customers from the port of entry to the outlets. May 25th, I also attended the Memorial Day service at the cemetery, and I just want to take this time to thank the Baja Runners for a beautiful ceremony, as always, and actually remembering those that gave their lives for our freedom. So again, thank you to the Baja Runners. May 26th, I attended the ad hoc committee to address the public safety tax measure that will possibly be going in November 3rd, 2026. May 27th, I attended the ICTC meeting. Some of the highlights, we had a budget meeting, and I can tell you that the Calexico Eastport of ICT will be building the same or a little smaller transportation center on our Eastport, which will provide transportation for those that are coming from Mexico to our local hub here in downtown. That's going to be approximately $12 million. The other item that's in their agenda is 2nd Street, Anza Road Bridge. We all know that this bridge has been inoperable for some time now, and hopefully there's funding now that we're going to be starting the design and environmental reports. This right now is approximately $2 million. On our regular meeting, there's several taxes that are coming out, and hopefully this will provide extra funding for infrastructure and other programs for our city. Ms. Laura Bowen and Jesus Villegas have been informed, and they know that the deadline is in June 26th, correct? So you're on it, so hopefully we can get some money for that. The other project is the 2nd Street, Anza Road Bridge rehab, and that is right now in the design and environmental stage. And the second project they have is a project or a study that Calexico West pedestrian feasibility study, and this will provide a pathway and biometric facial recognition to expedite security process, wayfinding, signage with real border time crossings. May 27th, the mayor and I met with the Salvation Army to meet and greet. They are coming to our city. They're providing services to our citizens, but they're looking at establishing an office in our city. May 29th, the mayor and I met with staff from the county, from IID, ICT, and thank you, and Mr. Pacheco still here? Oh, he's left already. And some of the items that were addressed in this meeting were road infrastructure for Grand Plaza, Anza Bridge, illegal trucking facilities along Cove Road, county pavement work, New River maintenance shares, Las Casitas light poles, parks in our lights, and the IID grants that are available, as Mr. Pacheco said earlier. June 1st, Mayor and I met with two commissioners, Laura Bowen, Ben Martinez, regarding possible grants for our city. June 2nd, Councilwoman Marquez and I assisted in handing out medals and trophies on the Calexico soccer program for our children. It was a great event and a rewarding event. I just want to take this time to thank Ms. Carmen Estrada for her service to our community. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. All I'm going to say is ditto. You got my notes? So I'm not going to repeat myself or repeat what Mayor Pro Tem said, but I attended all of those events that he mentioned. The soccer I don't think he mentioned. Councilmember Adriana Marquez and I attended a soccer binational program that is being. They're putting together that program with Consulat Vasquez Alvarez, who's all over the place. So they're putting a soccer league that's national together, and I think the game's going to begin in October. Other than that, everything that the Mayor Pro Tem had mentioned, I had attended. The only comment that I want to make is the comments on the movie theater and Applebee's. There's a lot of speculations out there stating that, look at what the mayor did, or look at what council. It's just mayor, or look at what the three members did. It's just people not going to dine at Applebee's, people not attending the movies. That's why they closed down. It's not because of council members or myself or whatnot. I've always mentioned to shop local. Go to your local places. We have a lot of good places out there to go to. We got restaurants and places that we need to assist for them not to leave. It's sad when I went to the movies on the last day, and all of a sudden the employee was telling me it was packed for the last 3 days. I went to Applebee's the other evening, and it was pretty packed. But what happened to the rest of the years beforehand? So we have other businesses that we don't want them to close. And there's good food out there. There's good places out there. There's good people out there that they take care of their patrons. They take care of the people that go and dine and visit. So let's help out our businesses, please. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. Somebody had mentioned, and I did confirm, the agenda was the agenda was approved. It was approved by Nuricumbo and second by Lisa Thailenda, council members, with the movement of item number 12 under the consent. So it was approved. Now, regarding to the consent agenda, Madam Clerk, do we have any call for public comments? Public comments on the consent agenda? No? Okay. All right. So item number 12 was moved. It was approved. Call for a motion for the consent agenda minus the item number 12.
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, so the motion was approved by Mayor Pro Tem Lencho Calderon, second by Diana Nuricumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez is absent, Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Nuricumbo,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Now, moving on to item number 12, an item that is moved to discussion. Adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico adopting the list of projects for fiscal year 2026, 2027 funded by SB1, the Road Repair and Accountability Act 2017. Do we have a staff report on them?
Yes, good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, and the public. This is an item which is basically really typical every year because it's one of the requirements for the road maintenance and rehabilitation account in order to use the funding coming from this this account. The funding is coming from fuel taxes and vehicle registration fees. And every city is receiving money based on the consumption, obviously, of the gas or diesel. Say for the gasoline is 12 cents per gallon, diesel is 20 cents per gallon. Even zero emission vehicles pay $100 is an annual fee. Anyways, in order to use this funding, which for this fiscal year is roughly $1.1 million, we need this document to be approved, and we can use it for 2026, 2027 fiscal year. The items are pretty typical. It's for repair, for staffing, repair material for repairing roads, and we are including, basically all the streets within our city is part of the attachments. That way, if we have to go and do some pothole repairing or any maintenance, we don't have to get back and ask for a permission, since it's part of this document. I'm not sure if you have any questions. I'm glad to answer.
Thank you. Call for any public comments reference to this? None? Okay. Council member comments?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I asked to bring this item for this discussion only so that we can all get a little bit more information, because so this seems to be an ongoing funding every year,
yes.
Correct? Okay. So then, as I was looking at all the items, all the projects, some of them date back to 2019. For example, the one, it says Scaroni Road Improvement Project. It was supposed to start in 2019. And I understand the whole, situation, but I want to know, because there's a lot of projects listed here that are high dollar projects, like the bridges, for example. Those are, millions of dollars. So I wanted kind of like an update on how much money we have on this account, because I just want to know if the list of items here are actually even going to get done, because like I said, one was supposed to commence in 2019 and we're in 2026, so that's 7 years ago. And so I kind of want to know how much money we have in that account if we're receiving over $1 million every year. And also the list of projects that are here, what are we starting with now? Are we going to ever go into the bridges? Because I know Mayor Pro Tem Calderon mentioned about the Anza Bridge, and we know we're having a collaboration with ICTC and the city as well. But these, for example, we have the 2nd Street Bridge over going to the outlets, and then the 2nd Street All-American Canal Bridge, I'm assuming on the east side. So like I said, can we get a little bit more information on when we should start seeing these items or these projects break ground, so that the people can know what we're working on?
Okay, for these big projects you have just mentioned, it's not easy to say when the Anza Bridge is going to be fixed, or the bridge by the oil, what used to be bonds. Those are big challenges for the city. So they are part of this document, just in case we need to use at least part of this money for either design or any other type of construction, we can use them. The date for those is hard to say, especially the Anza Bridge. Typically, it takes from 5, sometimes even 10 years to get it done, based on the requirements imposed by the environmental review. The other projects, basically, we are working. Like right now, we are working on the specific list of projects you guys agreed the last time. And other than that, the other monies can be used for regular repairs. The Escarone Road improvement, just that is brand new, it's already done, but say for whatever reason we need to repair something in that road, that say there's an accident, or we have to, remove and replace a water line, at least we have the monies already in this list to do those kind of repairs.
But are we, are we, the bigger items, like the repairs of these bridges, are we seriously looking into fixing them other than just putting them on a document to get, to have a list of projects, pending projects? Because they are serious, they are important. So like I said, we've put some off already for 8 years. So what is our priority with them? When are we gonna start them? And that's why I asked how much money we have there, because you might say, well, we don't have enough to start them, or we don't have enough to start getting the environmental design. But if we do have, tens of millions of dollars in that account that has been accumulated, that's what I would like to know. If you say we have $50 million there, for example, then my next question would be, well, then why haven't we started? So that's why I wanted to ask how much money we have in that account. And when do we think we can start working on these projects? Maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, maybe 3 years, because it's been on a piece of paper for too long.
Yeah, definitely. Specifically for the ANSA bridge, we have roughly like $3.5 million that the city has secured for that project. The design and environmental clearance is being done by ICTC as part of the collaboration. So I don't anticipate that done within a year. It typically takes more than a year. It's part of the list because basically for whatever reason we have to participate, the money is available. But I'm really glad to get back to ICTC and ask for an update as to how the process is moving along.
So can you tell us how much money is in that account that we've collected so far?
No, I don't have that money, but I'll get back next council meeting to the sharp number.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know?
Yeah, there's about 4.5 million.
That's all there is there?
Fund balance.
So then it's fair to say that a lot of the projects here are not even funded. I mean, they're not really.
No, not fully funded. I mean, specifically the bridges are really expensive. So we are actually part of the solution, but funding must come from other sources, either grants or collaboration with ICTC, Caltrans.
Okay, and we're looking for them, right?
Oh no, yeah, it's an ongoing project. It's a big challenge, unfortunately. But I say specifically the bridge, which is that the next one is ANSA, and we have been working in collaboration with ICTC. But at the same time, we have sent a grant application to the federal government asking for $15 million. So there is no answer yet. But we are in communication with the offices of some congressmen.
Okay, thank you. And that's pretty much it. Maybe I would like to, like I said, this is important infrastructure for our city. Maybe if we can have more constant information on updates on where we're at to get these, fulfilled at some point.
Yeah, and if City Council believes it's a good idea, we can do either a monthly report, bi-monthly. I mean, you guys tell me which is the frequency you want to see a report, and we'll be glad to prepare a report. Actually, a hard copy so you can keep it not only electronically, and just take it with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Lisa Telenda, any comments?
Yes, so a few months ago, I did express the desire for the council to be made aware of how we were going to be spending these types of monies, so SB1, LTA. And so on this list, there's quite a few projects outlined, and they're not fully funded, and there's $4 million approximately. So my only request for this item would be that council give direction on which items are the priorities. So I think it's important that this come back to us before money is spent on it, because the actual funding sources and the cost estimates are not included in the outline projects. What I do like is the estimated useful life that's included, but I would, based on previous comments that I've made and direction requested, like to have seen the cost estimate, so then we can kind of get an idea what the money could potentially cover. And then it were to be brought back to council so we can give direction on what, we think would be a priority to use that money on, what it can be used, right? Because, for example, they keep mentioning the Anza bridges, and they're very expensive. What I think I've heard, the estimates are around like 12, 14 million. And the ICTC has been discussing since last year that they're going to allocate approximately 2 million for design. And that's just design. That's 2 million just to think about it, right? And so then you got to actually build it. So that's not going to happen with $4 million plus the 2 million from ICTC. But anyway, I would like to see this brought back to the council so we can kind of give direction based on what's in here and what's feasible, what we can spend that money on, so we can see what we think is a priority.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I think this is great. Like I said, I really like the useful life that was included, the estimated useful life. But previously, I have requested that these types of items come, so with the cost estimate, so we can see where we can allocate the monies.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what I was trying to say is that funding sources sometimes is just a moving target, right? So the political department is constantly looking for grants. So basically, if we can find a grant for a specific street, because not all the streets are eligible for different funding sources, we just apply it, and then if it's part of the list, we can match the investment with SB1 money. So that's the reason to have here. Definitely any project that we are actually able to get funded goes first through City Council to accept it, and then we move forward with the construction. If for whatever reason City Council say, you know what, it's not a project, we want to move forward, I mean, we can actually not do it. But typically when we are ready to do it is because the money is coming from a grant. So grant is a good opportunity to never let go.
Oh, no, of course.
Yeah,
No,
but definitely, yeah. And it's a good idea what Councilmember Noricumbo said. We can actually start kind of a monthly or bi-monthly report so you can see how the projects are moving forward and what kind of opportunities are we working on. Yeah, typically we don't say we're applying here or applying there because it's just probably too many, but that would be a good exercise for us to be, it's an interaction so you can see where we're moving to, and you can tell us, you know what, we want to see more in this direction, and it's fine.
And I think, with the direction of the city manager, I think that it would be great to have, at the very least, quarterly updates, because we do have a lot of community members and we have a lot of potholes, and they come up here and they want to know what's going on and what's the status, and one pothole filled goes a long way. I think you know. And so I think it's important to update the community. They're very excited when they see street projects. I know I get very excited, so I think that would be extremely beneficial. If it's doable, if the city manager so directs, and we've given direction and feedback, so when you guys can put that together, it would be wonderful.
Yeah, no, and that is great. And just want to elaborate a little bit about this perception that sometimes we're not doing a specific road. One of them is Ollie, which is nearby the postal office. And there is a reason, because we have a project for the restoration of sewer lift station 9 and 11. Part of the project includes a pipeline that goes through Ollie. That project, we are finalizing the improvement plans. So basically, we did not include it in the last list, because if we do that road and later on we get back and just tear it apart, it is not looking good. And it's not a good way to use the dollars. But that's the name that I hear the most, only. In doing this report that you just mentioned it, is good because we can actually say, you know what, we have this project, we are not working on Ollie because of this. You are aware, and the residents are aware the whys.
And I think that's one of the most popular streets. I use that. I've almost lost wheels on that street because of the potholes. And so it's important that the discussions, and sometimes we ask a lot of questions, but they're very important questions because our community deserves to know why and the logic behind not allocating the funds, for example, to Ollie Avenue, which is in very bad shape.
Oh, no, yeah.
And it is a highly frequented portion of our city. It's very popular.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people wonder, and myself, you know, why don't we, but that now I think is $1 million answer for $1 million question. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the perfect example of what Councilmember Talenda was mentioning is Scaroni Road by the Applebee's and movie theater. You had to fix the bottom, the manhole, start from the bottom to work to the top, and that's a perfect example on Ollie. Because people do ask about the road in front of the post office. Why don't they just pave it? And go, no, it takes more than that.
Yeah.
And that street has some major issues. Mayor Pro Tem Lencho Calderon, comments?
I have no comment.
All right. The only comment that I have is thank you, Public Works Director Villegas, for doing a really good job. I do support that item, and I do understand that these grants, I mean, you have to jump right on top of it, and time is an essence. And I know that you are bringing in you and the grants manager, Ms. Bowen. I was going to give her kudos, but she's not here.
Yeah.
But we'll give her kudos anyway. You guys are doing a great job when it comes to infrastructure, working the grants, bringing in the money. Every week I'm signing documents having to do with the grants. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, no, and thank you. Yeah, it's been a really good partnership with the grant manager, and also I have to mention that Lily Falomer he's been working on this for a long time, and is basically a key component for securing grants for streets and infrastructure. Yeah, but this dynamic that we are entering now is very beneficial.
Yeah, all three of you guys are doing a real good job. Thank you. Well, that's all I have to say. Call for a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Calderon, second by Councilmember Diana Nacumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez is absent. Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now, moving on to discussion and potential action items. Authorize number 13, authorize the city attorney to prosecute designated municipal code violation. Who authored this? Was it you? Okay, Councilmember Diana Nacumbo, please.
Yes. So basically, what I'm asking is that the council approve that this is assigned to staff for research. I know that we have a lot of problems. We have problem areas, one of them being the downtown, where we have ordinances, municipal codes, and a lot of them are not being enforced, and a lot of times we hear that we can't enforce them because in the end there's no prosecution, and most of us may know that the prosecuting authority is the Imperial County District Attorney, but a lot of times they are overworked and they won't prosecute smaller infractions. So the point behind this is to do some research and see if this would be a good option for our city, like the city of Fresno has, where they have their city attorney oversee a lot of code enforcement operations, and it allows the city attorney to initiate legal action to compel compliance. Mainly it's obviously for misdemeanors, city code violations, and code enforcement, nuisance, like graffiti abatement, those kind of smaller issues that are a big issue may not be a high priority to our county's DA, but it is a high priority to our city. So my ask is to have staff do the research and give us, do the due diligence and talk to us about the financials, because that could also be a good opportunity for the city to keep the fees that it gets from enforcing these codes. So that's pretty much what this is about.
Okay. Call for public comments. Okay. Obviously, there's not going to be any council discussion on this one. Do I have a motion to proceed to move this to the agenda? Is there a date that you want to?
It's, the policy states within 60 days, so
there's no
anytime
specific
that
date?
the staff can, get to it within 60
Okay.
days.
Call for a motion.
I motion.
Okay. Do I have a second? No.
I second.
No? Okay. A motion was made by Councilmember Diana Nuducumbo, second by Councilmember Lisa Thailenda. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Abstain.
Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 14, the purpose, a moratorium on a data center. Call for the staff report or by the author?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and members of the public. So I'm going to read it from the very start, because I've never done it before from the start, and I want to appreciate what it says. So we have a City Council item request form. The City Council item request form is for members of the City Council to submit written requests to the City Manager's Office for inclusion of an item on the next City Council meeting agenda. At the meeting where the initial written request is heard, discussion should be limited to whether the item should be added to an agenda and a date, not the merit of the item. It's important, I think, for us to understand how it got here and why we have discussion, why we don't. So my written request is propose moratorium on data centers until their impacts are fully studied and understood by the community. Possible city-initiated EIR for this type of use. So I'd like to provide information regarding the discussion on this agenda item regarding a potential data center moratorium. Over the past several months, communities throughout Imperial Valley have been discussing data centers and other high-intensity technology uses. Cities such as Brawley, Imperial, Calapat, and others have begun evaluating whether the zoning ordinances adequately address these types of facilities, because many municipal codes were written long before artificial intelligence, computing centers, hyperscale data centers, and similar technologies became common development proposals. One issue that has emerged throughout the region is that many zoning ordinances do not specifically define data centers as a separate land use. As a result, there are legitimate questions regarding where these facilities should be permitted, what development standards should apply, and how impacts such as noise, energy demand, water consumption, emergency services, and buffering from residential neighborhoods should be addressed. However, I believe it's important to distinguish between regulating development and stopping development. And I want to remind everyone that economic development remains critical to the future of Calexico. Our community has long sought quality employment opportunities, increased private investment, expanding commercial activity, and stronger tax base. The question before us should not be whether Calexico welcomes investment. The question should be whether our zoning ordinance provides sufficient guidance to evaluate emerging industries in a transparent and predictable manner. So with that said, I believe staff should be directed to provide a comprehensive analysis of our existing zoning regulations, identify any gaps, summarize regional activity occurring throughout Imperial Valley, and report whether any formal applications or development inquiries have been received by the city, if there are any vested rights any projects with vested rights. And I'd also like to say that Calexico should remain open to responsible economic development while ensuring that our zoning regulations protect residents and provide clear expectations for future projects. Updating our municipal code may ultimately accomplish those goals without unnecessarily signaling that Calexico is close to investment. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Councilmember Talenda. Call for public comments.
June Kim?
Good evening. I admire Lisa to put on this an agenda because this one is the health issues on the citizens. And very important, this one, if we cannot taking care of this one, what we doing here? Actually, government spend a lot of money, a lot of process to eliminating poison or pollution, poison something, pollution of the airs or the environmental issues. So we have to take care of it. This is one of the key or core point of the safety of our citizens. And if we fail to save safety of the citizens, then we fail to the governments. We are not government anymore. And I don't know what made it, this coming into the valley to creating all the pollutions and hurting us. So they're gonna say, oh, it's gonna be create a job or good for the community. Excuse me. Economic development is good for that. That is baloney. We spend a lot of money, a lot of effort to control that, and then now we're gonna create again for the economic. There's something wrong. So I believe that our council member is not dumb or is not bad because we got that agenda for today. And I urge you to save the community. If we fail to save the community by calling moratoriums, if we fail, we're not failing only us. We are failing our children's future in Calexico. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the council, members of the public. I am Alejandro Romero, and I live on 3rd Street, and I'm here today to show my full support for the moratorium on data centers. And I feel that there are several reasons why we should be against these data centers. Well, entirely, of course, but number one, I feel like they have a very negative effect on our environment. For example, they're a very resource-intensive project, data centers. They obviously would increase the electricity bill and the water bill, and they've already gone up recently in the past few years, which I feel very negatively impacts our community. We're all working class, or for the most part, we're working class individuals. So I feel that these data centers could perhaps lead to a sort of gentrification. They could lead to us being driven out by the high cost of energy and the high cost of water bills. I'll admit, I am working class myself, and I feel like this will negatively affect us. Additionally, I want to reiterate on a point made by one of the previous speakers. I feel like us as a community are in a very precarious position. You know, we're facing persecution from ICE, from several government agencies, and I feel like we deserve a sort of sanctuary in this valley. We deserve to feel safe and comfortable and not have to cater to the interests of corporations which are not from here, which are not led by our own decisions. And well, I just feel like it's the right thing to do for us. I'm sure you all are very well informed. I came here completely impromptu, to be honest. I'm sure you all can tell by my slurring of my speech, but I'm sure you all will do the right thing and propose, hopefully, not only a moratorium on data centers, but an outright prohibition of them. I feel like our development economically should be led by the community. And as he said, as Mr. Legaspi said, shop locally. Instead of providing resources to these data centers and letting them take up space and energy, why not give us a chance to lead the economic development? Why not give out business loans? Why not let us take charge in this and not let some foreign corporations, not foreign, but outsiders, not local to the valley, speak for us? Thank you all for your time.
Janet Gonzalez. Janet Gonzalez.
Hi everyone. It's my first time here ever, and it's very good to see a lot of familiar faces. Some of you I know forever. Ronnie, if you tell me my time's up.
Can you get closer to the mic, please?
So,
Get closer to the mic.
not closer. Okay. My name is Jeanette, and I've been here resident Calexico forever, since second grade, and then in support in the item 14 moratorium data center. I'm mostly concerned about, the good thing that I like is that we're small town people, border town specifically, very unique in its aspect, border town. And I know we're finding ourselves in the same shoes, statewide, county-wise, and nationwide, the whole world. I even heard about India, China, but I'm not gonna focus on that. Border town first. Last September 18, if you remember, we had a big thunderstorm, with a sandstorm and thunderstorm. And we had a power outage. If it doesn't rain in Calexico, when it does rain, it floods. September 18, I remember, because we were coming back from a Rancho Mirage doctor's appointment. We got caught in Salton Sea between dust storm and a thunderstorm. Long story short, we get home and we lose power for 6 hours. Now, I'm a caregiver, I work full-time, and nobody helps me, okay? It's just me, myself, and I. And it's okay, I'm a tough cookie, Jesus got me. But what I'm gonna do, thinking border town, small family, a lot of people in my same shoes, a lot of us have a lot of family members, whatever. Anything happens, power-wise, how are we gonna look after families? What I'm gonna do if I need to run across town, help my mom, this is power outage. Just power outage. So that's my concern. And I hear a lot about this fourth industrial revolution. I don't care for it because what I hear is they want to replace opportunities for us to better ourselves. They just want to take a lot of business away from people. They want to give everything to robots and like, okay, cool, do your own thing, but leave us alone. So I do hope that eventually you will ban data centers here and we can be an example to other people because this is not just happening here, it's happening everywhere and there's a lot of repercussions. How much time? I'm good. I think it is imperative that we communicate, we keep asking questions, and I know a lot of people wanting to come, but there's like a lot of graduations, that sort of thing, and a lot of people are very shy. They wanted to come, but they don't want to be on video. So here I am trying to be an example to you. You can do it. It just takes 3 minutes or less. Thank you for your time.
Cristian Salgado.
Hello, good afternoon, board. I'm quite frankly pretty tired of talking about data centers. But I'm here today to encourage the board to pursue a moratorium on data center development and to update zoning within the city of Calexico. I realize today what is in front of us is simply a discussion item. There wasn't a lot to review, and the legal language would need to be drafted and come back for a vote. At this point, you need the city attorney to draft and adopt California Government Code 65858, which would allow for a 45-day moratorium, and then at the end of that, you can extend it for 1 year. That's the legal parameters right now in California. Excuse me. Allowing time for the update zoning to heavily restrict AA data center development. This is essentially what the city of Imperial passed today, 0 to 5, really successful. No to an EIR, it's a waste of time and resources. No to a study. This is straightforward. Update or zoning ordinances, super straightforward. Why is a moratorium needed in Calexico? Well, interestingly, according to a CPRA that was provided to me last month, I became aware of a data center project that was being acquired about January of 2025, so it's been some time. There was communication between an industrial real estate broker, Bob Mooney, and the planning director, Michael Coyne, asking about a data center that would fit CS zoning. I don't know if this rings a bell. The response to the broker by Mr. Coyne via email was, in looking at the land use table, we could classify this proposed use as an indoor storage facility, which would allow by right in CS zone, and such the proposal co-location data center would be permitted use on subject property. So I can repeat that sentence, let it sink in. There's some huge problems in that email correspondence. First, a data center is not an indoor storage facility. That's an extremely egregious way to categorize a data center. A data center is, intense infrastructure, water, energy demands. I'm sure you know so much about the Imperial Data Center project. Second, the CS zoning is commercial zoning. It's not even industrial. So you're talking about like a facility for furniture. The address that they were acquiring about was 632S Imperial Avenue, the heart of Calexico, next to a car wash. Was like a furniture store at one point. So for it to be like, yeah, here's the green light, indoor storage, go for it, very crazy. Third, another key takeaway, and this is the magic word that everyone talks about, by right. That was in the sentence. I'm sure if you've been following along with the horrible saga of the Imperial Data Center project, and now there's another data center, the Tomcat Data Center project, this ordinance could potentially allow AA data center developers to they're looking for these by rights, because what can they do? Bypass environmental review, bypass CEQA. Furthermore, the city council, you guys act as your own planning commission. That's very unusual. I have really short things to say. This is a little odd, so you kind of are the accountable board to kind of move this forward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cool, thank you.
Juan Moran.
Buenas noches again, Mayor, Council members, staff, residents. Juan Moran, Vega Street, Calexico. I rise in clear support of the proposed moratorium on data centers. This is a practical, responsible step that ensures Calexico establishes its standards before any large-scale industrial project shapes our long-term future. A moratorium is not a rejection of economic development. It is a commitment to thoughtful planning and public stewardship. Data centers are not ordinary commercial uses. They are resource-intensive industrial facilities with significant impacts on water supply, electrical demand, land use compatibility, and public infrastructure. Cities across the country have learned, sometimes at great cost, that when these projects move faster than local planning, communities are left managing consequences they never agreed to. A moratorium prevents that imbalance by giving Calexico the time to evaluate, prepare, and set expectations transparently, with public input rather than rush negotiations. Any proposed data center must meet strict environmental regulations, comply with clear regulatory framework, and demonstrate that it can operate responsibly within our community's limits. That includes enforceable standards for water use, energy efficiency, heat and noise mitigation, and full disclosure of operational impacts. These requirements are not obstacles to development. They are the very basic protections that a community deserves when considering a project of this scale and magnitude. Equally important, data centers must pay their fair share in taxes to the community in which they operate. The practice of offering tax incentives or subsidies to wealthy corporations, effectively paying them to locate here, is not a sustainable model and not aligned with Calexico's long-term interests. A project that truly benefits the public should strengthen our tax base, not diminish it. Our residents should never be placed in a position of subsidizing private profit. A moratorium allows us to answer some essential questions. What standards must be in place before any application is accepted? What infrastructure upgrades are required and who's responsible for the cost? What guaranteed community benefits must be secure? And this is not anti-technology. I've been using computers since the early 1990s. It is pro-planning, pro-transparency, and pro-Calexico. We owe it to our residents to set the rules first, thoughtfully, publicly, and with the community's long-term interests at the forefront of every decision we make. A moratorium ensures that Calexico leads with clarity, fairness, and responsibility as we consider any proposals. Thank you, Board.
Astrid Calderas.
Well, I already introduced myself before. Thanks for the opportunity to share my concerns regarding data centers. I would like to ask you to carefully consider whether Calexico is truly prepared to absorb the additional environmental and public health burden that a large-scale data center development may bring. Remember, we already have enough pollution sources that we haven't been solving yet. And for decades, Calexico has struggled with the air quality that we have seen. And according to the Environmental Protection Agency, Imperial County remains non-attainment status for ozone and particulate matter air pollution standards. And guess what? Calexico is among the worst cities in our county. These are not new problems. They are ongoing issues that contribute to affect the health of our residents. The reality is that we have not yet solved our existing air pollution problems. If we are already struggling to meet cleaner standards today, how can we confidently say that adding a new scale industrial infrastructure will not further impact our communities? The Public Health Institute has reported that in Imperial County has experienced some of the highest asthma-related hospitalizations and emergency room visits rates for children in California. And guess what? Air quality has long been recognized as a contributing concern. A recent California study on data centers found that pollution-related public health costs increased from approximately $45 million in 2019 to more than $155 million in 2023. More than tripling in just a matter of 4 years. The same situation we have for pollution coming from data centers. These are significant impacts that deserve careful consideration before additional projects are approved. We after heard about the economic benefits these projects may bring, and those benefits should certainly be evaluated. However, we must also weigh the costs that may not appear in a budget report. Increased healthcare expenses, respiratory illnesses, lost school days, reduced quality of life, and the long-term effects on our children and families. Through my work with local children and teens, I can tell you that they are paying attention. They understand environmental issues more than many people realize. And they are concerned about the future of their community. They trust us as adults and public officials to make decisions that protect their health and well-being. Research continues to suggest that air pollution can affect not only physical health, but also learning, cognitive performance, anxiety and depression, and overall quality of life.
Thank you,
I just wanted to mention this because you mentioned about declaring the mental health. Well, pollution is also related to these diseases.
Thank you, ma'am.
Julio
You forgot your
Fernandez.
water. Let's not spill it.
Julio Fernandez.
Thank you, Council. Well, I actually come from Mexicali. I was requested by the Committee of Environmental Justice to come here. I'll talk about data centers as well. The data centers do require an immense amount of energy and water to operate. On the energy side, the electric grid is not prepared for the energy requirements. So most data centers use natural gas-powered turbines or alternative fuels like biodiesel, which release polluting emissions to the air. On the water side, data centers are extremely extractive. In 2013, US data centers consumed 17 billion gallons with a B of water directly. The current number is actually higher. By 2028, this could be quadruple. In some communities, a single data center swallows over 25% of the local water supply. Moreover, indirect water use of data centers, including water use by power plants to generate enough electricity for the use of microchips for data center demands, has been estimated to be 12 times higher, around 211 billion gallons. This is even more concerning for the Imperial County, since it already suffers from water scarcity, and there are multiple cuts projected for the Colorado River water availability for the next years. We're also worried about any air pollution and water pollution that may be emitted from the data centers, as that will affect like our city as well as our communities, especially since the Colorado River is like the main water source for crops and, well, drinking water for us as well. And, well, it's also water for the Sea of Cortez, which is currently in talks to be considered in their critical in the year. So thank you, that's all.
René Felix.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the Calexico City Council. My name is Rene Felix. I live on East 4th Street here in Calexico, and I am speaking on behalf of the Imperial County Building and Construction Trades Council, representing 20 construction unions. We encourage the city to take a thoughtful approach to data center development. We recognize that not every data center project will be the right fit for Calexico. And as much as we support quality job creation, the safety and well-being of our community must always come first. Rather than closing the door entirely on future opportunities, we encourage the city to develop clear guidelines and a roadmap that identifies where these projects may or may not be appropriate. We also support the creation of an ad hoc committee that includes labor, community, environmental, grassroots, and other local stakeholders to help provide input as these policies are developed. This approach keeps the council in the driver's seat, allows the city to establish strong standards, and ensure that any future project are evaluated based on what is best for Calexico and its residents. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Héctor Mesa.
Again, good night. Hector Mesa, representative for IBW Local 569. Just here to say that as we're speaking about data centers, we shouldn't, if you guys want to think of a moratorium, fine, but don't go a full ban. That's what I want to say. Even though we're all worried about what could come out of a data center. I know there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of worries about water, electricity. I could tell you as an electrician, technology does change. There's more efficient ways to do stuff, to do construction of the work. The new data centers being built currently, now thanks to public input that all around the states has been pushed by the community. Now they're using direct-to-chip technology, meaning that now they're circulating the water directly to the chips, and basically having, once you load up the system, you don't have to be refueling it. So it's not this daily water use that we all keep hearing about. But again, that's not all data centers. Some of them also use closed loop systems, which is it's pretty much the same thing. You just load up the system once. There is some a small amount that dissipates, but the water reduction comes to about 90% less than what it used to be with the current data centers, past data centers. But technology has been involved. I'm actually glad the community speaking up, because that means new technology, more stuff for us to work on and learn. When it comes to storages and fire safety, there's a battery storage on Dogwood in Villa in El Centro. That was the first indoor battery storage here in the valley. That was installed about 10 years ago. I got to work on that as an apprentice. I know that there's a fire suppression system in that if there's a small fire or any type of fire actually starts, it will automatically release the special agent that will suppress lithium fire. It could actually cost hundreds of thousands of dollars if that thing releases, just to refuel the system. But the same thing could be done with data centers. Have the developers make sure that they are making sure that if something happens, we are not going to be, we're not in trouble. We're not going to be hurt. That's it. Thank you.
Joanna Espinosa.
I'm going to say it in Spanish, just letting y'all know. Estoy hablando sobre los centros de datos. Quiero dar poquita información de que cómo podemos comprender qué es un centro de datos. Viene siendo un edificio que está lleno de computadoras que están yendo sin parar, ocupan agua, ocupan energía, y la razón que ocupan el agua es para poder enfriar los monitores o los fans, que vienen a ser los ventiladores, que es lo que mantienen frías las computadoras. Obviamente estamos en el desierto, donde ya mencioné, tenemos 123 días o más al año donde sufrimos las temperaturas de 100 grados o más. Se me hace completamente ilógico que tenemos tantas crisis de salud pública y de contaminación a nuestro medio ambiente y continuamos tratando de traer industrias que van a extraer más y nos convierten en una zona de sacrificio. Tenemos el New River, que es uno de estas rivers más contaminadas de todo California ahorita. Diría que es ilógico, como les voy a decir, que estamos escasos en agua, que seguido se nos pide como residentes salvar el agua, no regar a ciertas horas. La luz igual, se han pedido momentos donde mantienen la luz apagada por periodos de tiempo para guardar agua. Entonces, para hacer welcome, para darles la bienvenida a estas compañías, a estas industrias que van a jalar todavía más electricidad, que van a gastar más agua en algo que pues la verdad no va a producir labor, no va a dar tanto trabajo como lo han estado anunciando. It is not a solution to the unemployment crisis that we have going on in the county. Van a hacer las construcciones temporales y luego se van. Y luego de ahí no queda nada estable o permanente. Entonces sí les pido que reconsideren invertir en este tipo de industrias y que aprueben el moratorium para el centro de datos.
Berta Carreño.
Muy buenas tardes, miembros del concilio. Buenas tardes a los residentes que se encuentran aquí atendiendo a esta junta. Muy importante, bastante importante. Mi nombre es Berta Carreño, yo soy residente de la ciudad de Calexico, 1141 y 2nd Street. Y primero que nada quisiera enfatizar algo que para mí es sumamente importante. Y es que cuando nosotros hace un año acudimos a votar, votamos por un concilio en el cual depositamos nuestras esperanzas. Las esperanzas de que fuera un equipo que se uniera para luchar por el bienestar de Calexico y sus residentes. Y ese bienestar no solo se refiere al bienestar económico, también se refiere al bienestar ambiental, a la calidad de vida que debemos tener aquí. A mí me sorprendió muchísimo cuando vi en la agenda la moratoria para el centro de datos. ¿Cuándo se empezó esto? ¿Cuándo nos informaron a los residentes que había tan siquiera este proyecto que ha sido combatido fuertemente en el Valle Imperial? Que hemos visto cómo otras ciudades han tenido una fuerte oposición. Y entonces, ¿cuándo empezamos a hablar de esto aquí en Calexico? Fue una sorpresa grande el que no hubiera la transparencia en la que creímos cuando votamos hace un año. Esa transparencia de informarnos de todos los proyectos que pueden afectar nuestra calidad de vida. Por favor, queremos que se unan por nosotros. Queremos que trabajen por nosotros. Y no nada más somos nosotros, son ustedes también. Todo lo que se decide hacer en la ciudad de Calexico afecta a los que vivimos aquí. Por favor, únanse en esta ocasión y denle el tiempo debido a este tipo de proyectos para que pase por la comunidad, para que se reciba la opinión de los residentes, para que estén informados. Y ya hemos escuchado mucho acerca del impacto de los centros de datos. Muchísimo. Empleos no van a crear. Crecimiento económico no van a crear. Van a crear problemas. Van a crear empleos temporales que se irán. Y van a crear unos cuantos empleos cuyos empleados se irán a gastar el dinero a otra parte. ¿Por qué? Porque así se ha estado haciendo últimamente. Lo que necesitamos es mejorar la calidad de nuestros servicios para que la gente se sienta motivada a gastar su dinero aquí en Calexico. Eso es lo que va a incrementar nuestra economía. Por favor, centro de datos no. Muchas gracias.
Ricardo Romero.
I want to request extra time. I'm here to comment on the proposed data center moratorium and urge this council to go further. Moratorium is temporary. What I'm asking is a permanent ban on data centers within Calexico city limits until or unless the community has been given full environmental review process, public hearings with adequate notice.
Excuse me,
yeah.
I will give you a minute and a half more time.
Thank you. Or unless the community has been given a full environmental review, public hearings with adequate notice, and the opportunity to vote or whether to accept the consequences, as well as data being harvested, as well as knowing what data is being harvested in these data centers and the data being openly sourced available to the public. Here's why I'm asking that ask. I submitted a California Public Records Act request to the city. I have received a partial response. I'm already in possession of documents showing that in January 2025, commercial real estate broker contacted the Calexico Planning and Building Director and asked whether a co-location data center could be built at a specific commercial property in this city. The planning director responded within 24 hours and 8 minutes by email, classifying the proposed co-location data center as an indoor storage facility. Permitted by right, no hearing required, no CEQA review conducted. The following day, you guys decided to remove the planning commission, so now there is no planning commission to overview this. A co-location data center is not an indoor storage facility. Co-location data center houses hundreds of thousands of server clients, draws industrial levels of electricity, requires continuous water-based cooling, and generates significant noise and heat. Classifying it as a storage unit to avoid public review is not a legitimate use of administrative discretion. It is the kind of shortcut that leaves communities with consequences and officials with liability. The property in question subsequently sold for $280,000, $126,000 below its assessed value of $406,000, approximately 4 months after that zoning interpretation was issued. I want that on record. I'm also noting that for the record that my CPRA response states that there are no responsive records for items including written zoning interpretations for that property and city council records referring data centers. I'm in possession of documents that appear responsive to those very categories. I expect a complete response by June 18. If one is not provided, I will be escalating it to the California Attorney General's office. The council has the opportunity tonight to make Calexico the next city in the valley to say not here, not without us, not without review. I'm asking for a complete ban, not a pause. The community is watching, the press is watching. And just for anybody to get an idea of what these data centers are, everybody has a Facebook. Everybody uploads pictures. When you upload that picture, there's usually some form of AI that picks up your face and asks, hey, is this you? This is on the Facebook AI. Palantir showed a demo of how they zoom in into a building, they zoom in into a car, they zoom in into a person. Once you get all these different APIs connected through the government, through the DOJ, then it's really easily identifiable for somebody to just, go on the other side of the world and bomb Gaza and bomb Palestine, right? This is what these AI data centers are feeding, war, right? A mass surveillance control state. We have LPRs, license plate readers, showing up in our city. We saw last year, 2 years ago, I'm not sure, that we were breaking the law by sharing information from these LPRs with other agencies.
To the subject matter, please.
This is talking about AI data centers, and this is what the future brings if we do accept these data centers. Thank you.
Arturo Medina. Arturo Medina. Ismael Arbizu.
Good afternoon. So, environmental impacts with data centers are very dangerous. There's talk about closed loop systems, but like everyone has always said, my older generation always says, nada gratis, nada te va a llegar gratis. There's no real, nothing is free in this world, right? So data centers require water and they require electricity. Specifically the Imperial Data Center in the city of Imperial, which they just voted full moratorium in the city of Imperial. Brawley did not vote on a moratorium yesterday, it did not pass. Calexico could pass it, or I think it's on action today, no sé. The electricity needed for the Imperial project was what the Imperial Valley needed for energy output in 2024. Meaning, what Imperial Valley used in 2024, that's what this one data center would require for now. As time will go, this infrastructure is part of the AI bubble that was given by Mr. Trump. This money is corporate. I don't know where this data center that was talked about a couple years ago through emails was coming from, but for what I've seen, that guy was part of BlackRock or just other private equity. And the private equity is bringing America down. Back to the environmental impacts. One of the biggest things that I am scared of is the heat bubble or the heat zone that it creates around the data center. Put it in downtown. Who cares? Downtown's already going up, right? No, we don't want to put this anywhere, specifically in the desert. It is horrible. As well as the surveillance and data collection that data centers bring. Whatever this data center might be, whoever it might own, they all are interconnected. They're all part of the tech web that are tech oligarchs, to be honest with you, are running America right now. We don't have to be complacent. People in this county are voting against it. In fact, we forced, le hicimos cochito, ¿cómo dice bracito de cochi? Al Board of Supervisors to put a moratorium up on June 16th. If you guys don't want to vote on it, who cares, right? We're going to go fight where people can make real decisions. Pero I suggest that you guys really commit to this. Show the people of Calexico what your true priority is, and it's the safety and concerns of the community. Also, if you don't do it right now, if you don't put that barrier up, someone could come in, a developer could be like trying to do something, and then you put the moratorium up while they're trying to do something, and then they're gonna try to sue you. Like, Sebastian Rucci is trying to sue the city of Imperial or the county of Imperial for trying to put a little pushback on his project. We're not here to serve the elites and as well as the warfare that data centers bring. It's happening in the other side of the world, but soon enough, it can happen in our own nation. It already happened to Venezuela, quién sabe lo que va a pasar en Mexico, but like we don't want more surveillance, more data collection. And if you guys are not understanding what's coming out of my mouth right now, I suggest that you guys research before you pass anything. But please vote on the moratorium.
Daniela Flores.
Hi, good evening. Daniela Flores. I'm the Executive Director of Imperial Valley Equity and Justice. We're on 230 Blair Avenue here in Calexico. So I'm in support of the data center moratorium, but really the ban that is necessary. Residents all over the county have spoken. Imperial County, the desert is not, we're not in favor of data centers. So there's a lot of research on it already. And so, I think you all should move with urgency and confidence that, we could follow suit with City of Imperial. I'm going to say a few things in Spanish. Hay que pensar quién vive aquí en Calexico, ¿verdad? La mayoría son mayores de edad. Muchos de ellos ya no trabajan, muchos de ellos están en esta comunidad y cuentan en que los mantengan, pues que cuiden la calidad del aire y de su salud. So, ahorita la población de mayores, los trabajos y todo eso no funciona aquí, a nadie le importa el tipo de trabajos que hay en los centros de datos. So, por favor, cuiden a nuestros seniors, cuiden a las personas que sí son residentes de aquí. Si ustedes ya estaban enterados de un proyecto desde enero del 2025, creo que es la primera conversación que tenemos de centros de datos aquí. So, but pueden hacer clarify lo que ustedes están enterados. I'm going to say a couple of things in English. They're a little bit more technical, but any proposed data centers built in Calexico will lead to significant environmental impacts. They're projected to generate significant greenhouse gas emissions. They're powered by fossil fuel-based electricity or methane-derived hydrogen. Data centers also commonly rely on backup diesel generators during power outages, and obviously we have many of them here in Calexico. These generators emit particulate matter and nitrogen oxides, and they exacerbate asthma and other respiratory conditions that our residents already face. Beyond emissions, research already shows that these data centers contribute to water scarcity through intensive cooling demands. Even the water-free cooling may require higher electricity demands, leading to greater greenhouse gas and air quality impacts. More than 70 data centers in Los Angeles County are placing a strain on water supplies, impacting the county. Researchers at UC Riverside determined that between 2019 and 2023, on-site water consumption in California data centers slightly more than doubled. Data center can also demand a lot of high amounts of electricity. We are the hottest place in the state of California, and so we really ought to prioritize the electricity and the water for our residents. Please pass a ban. That's what we need, a ban on data centers. Thank you.
Cristina Rojas.
Cristina Rojas, Calexico. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm here tonight as a resident who cares deeply about our community and the future of Calexico. I support the moratorium on data centers. Like many residents, I understand that our city needs economic opportunities and responsible growth. But we all want to see Calexico prosper. But when I hear about a project of this size, I cannot help but ask whether this is the right project for our community and whether we are fully considering what it could mean for the people who live here. My concern comes from living in this community and seeing the challenges we already face every day. We deal with dust, traffic, extreme heat, and air quality issues on a daily basis. Many families have children, parents, or relatives who struggle with asthma or other health conditions related to poor air quality. As residents, we know these concerns are real because we see them around us all the time. Over the past few years, we have already heard news reports and discussions from communities across the country about the impacts associated with large data centers. Concerns about water consumption, increased electricity demand, noise from equipment, and cooling systems, and the heat generated by these facilities have become common topics of discussion. Whether those impacts are large or small, they affect the people who live nearby and deserve careful consideration before decisions are made. What concerns me the most is that once a project of this scale is approved and built, there is no easy way to reverse course if problems arise. The people who will live with the consequences are not the developers or outside investors. They're the residents of Calexico, us. There are our families, our children, our seniors, and future generations who will call this community home. I believe that before moving forward, we should be asking tough questions, not because we are against progress, but because we care about protecting the health, quality of life, and future of people who already live here. Growth is important, but so is making sure that growth does not create new burdens for a community that is already facing many challenges. That is why I believe we must be extremely careful before adding any large industrial project to our community. Thank you.
Gilberto Manzanares.
Muy buenas tardes. Ready? Good afternoon, evening now, Mayor and Council. I come to speak in support about the proposed data center moratorium. People of Calexico, tonight I bet you will hear arguments such as, there is no active data center applications in Calexico, and therefore that means that a data center moratorium is unnecessary. But I want to argue the opposite. The best time to have this conversation is before an application arrives, not after. That's the entire purpose of a moratorium. It's a planning tool, and we shouldn't wait until a data center application lands on your desk before deciding what to do about that. That's how the County of Imperial found itself in the mess that it currently is in. In fact, Calexico has already seen discussions about a proposed co-location data center just last year, where the planning director tried to classify it as an indoor storage facility, which a data center is not. The city of Calexico has outdated ordinances. I'm sure we are all very aware about that. There is nowhere in the city of Calexico ordinances or zoning or codes that talks about hyperscale data centers at all. It's nowhere to be found in the city of Calexico documents. These projects tend to move fast, especially in cities that don't have updated and proper regulations and ordinances such as Calexico. Take a look at the city of Imperial. By the time the residents found out about California's largest data center being built right in their backyards, the county was already moving it through their planning commission, one that Calexico doesn't have, which would make the process even faster. We will most likely be told that Calexico is trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist, but take a look around us. Calipatria, Brawley, Imperial, and just as of yesterday, I was at the County of Imperial Supervisor meeting where they finally decided to move towards a moratorium and protective guidelines, which they will vote in approximately 2 weeks. This is not an imaginary issue. You'll also be inclined to point to homelessness, public safety, staffing shortages, parks, roads, and other challenges that the city of Calexico have. And those are all real and serious issues. But let's also be honest with ourselves. Many of those issues existed 10, 15 years ago. And the reality is that unless major changes are made, these problems will persist even when you run for re-election next time. The question tonight is not whether those issues matter or not. The question is whether the Calexico is capable of planning for its future while continuing to address its day-to-day responsibilities. Because if the standard is that we cannot discuss long-term planning until every other issue is solved, then we will never discuss long-term planning, ever. I urge this council to approve the moratorium and move forward, possibly with a ban on data centers. Thank you.
comments.
Okay. There will be no council discussion. Call for a motion.
I motion to approve.
Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor
Mayor, I'm
Legaspi?
sorry. Can we get direction on when
Oh,
we bring
okay, I'm sorry.
that back?
Let's,
July
let-
1st would be the staff's recommendation, July 1st meeting.
Okay, so can we have this by June 17th?
July 1st is what we're asking.
Okay, so all right, if you can't have it by June 17th, I know
I asked the city attorney, and that was his
okay,
preference.
July 1st then.
Yeah.
Okay, call for a motion. Motion was made by,
Lisa, and second by me.
who was it? Okay, Councilmember Diana Nunukumbo, second by Mayor Pro Temp Lencho Calderon. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda?
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to potential ordinance for council to annually allocate 58% of unrestricted general funds to the police, 30% and fire, 28% department through the year 2047 for 20 years. Gonna have the, Lisa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thalinda?
Thanks. I'm going to finish it off. Unless suspended during a declared fiscal emergency and approved by a 4/5, so a supermajority vote to implement and repeal. The idea of this is it would run in conjunction with, if approved, the special tax, if we manage to get it on the November 2026 ballot. So with that said, let me go into it. Mayor, council, and members of the community, the item before us today is not about raising taxes, nor is it about limiting the flexibility of future councils. It's about demonstrating our commitment to the residents of Calexico and ensuring that public safety remains a priority. As we consider a potential special tax measure to support policies in police and fire services, I believe it's reasonable for our residents to ask an important question. If new revenue is generated for public safety, how can we ensure that existing general fund support for police and fire is not simply redirected elsewhere? The ordinance being proposed would establish a baseline funding commitment by maintaining the current percentage of general fund resources allocated to our police and fire department, so what's already being allocated as of now. It would work alongside any future special tax measures, if approved, and serve as a safeguard to ensure that new revenues supplement public safety funding rather than replace it. That's a concern I have. I have the privilege of sitting on the ad hoc with Councilmember Calderon, and that's an idea that's come up. This is about transparency, accountability, and trust. If we ask our community to invest additional resources into public safety, we should also be willing to demonstrate that the city is committed to maintaining its own investment in those essential services. Police officers and firefighters provide life safety services every day. Our residents expect timely emergency responses, safe neighborhoods, and protection during emergencies. This ordinance would reflect those priorities and send a clear message that public safety is not just a campaign promise or a budget discussion. It is a core responsibility of local government. At the same time, the proposal recognizes the extraordinary circumstances may arise. That is why any temporary suspension would require a supermajority vote of the council, ensuring that any departure from its commitment occurs only after careful public consideration and broad agreement. So I look forward to discussion and respectfully ask for the support in moving this item forward for consideration. It's important to also think, if the special tax passes and we reduce general fund support by an equal amount, then public safety does not actually receive any net benefit. So the ordinance, which is separate from any proposed special tax measure, is intended to ensure that taxpayers see a real improvement in police and fire services. So regardless of politics, it's to kind of work with police and fire, also alongside our finance department, and see what we're doing and what can be done. And it also does not restrict future councils from moving the money that, so nothing can bind, we can't make decisions up here that bind future councils. So this has a get out of it idea or backup plan if it were to come before the council. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to public comments.
Luz Villanueva.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Council members. I am Luz Villanueva. I'm here as the Vice President of the Calexico Municipal Employees Association. We are here tonight to express our concern on item number 15, potential ordinance for council to annually allocate 58% of unrestricted general funds to the police and fire departments through the year 2047. We're talking about 20 years. We, CME, find this to be very demoralizing and insulting to our members because your message is loud and very clear. We are considered second-class employees to you. That is the message that you are sending us. The only valuable employees to you are the employees in police and fire departments, which makes up your public safety. We, CMEA, consider public safety to be very, very important. We're not here tonight to minimize the importance of our public safety staff. We are very thankful, we respect them, and just appreciate their daily service to our community in keeping us all safe. That being said, CMEA wants to bring up the fact that public safety would not be able to perform their jobs without them working in partnership with our public works staff. Our certified water and wastewater operators are water distribution maintenance employees who process the water they use to put out fires. They currently work together with our heavy equipment operators and laborers to clean up trash and debris during and after a fire or a natural disaster. Public safety needs our laborers and maintenance employees help to clean up the encampments left behind by transients. They need our street division laborers and equipment operators to keep roads in good condition, to drive to any emergency calls they may be called to attend. These are a few examples of how important your non-safety employees are to the city, our community that we all live in. We work together with police and fire departments, your public safety, to keep your city safe and ready to continue with their full services. We are respectfully requesting that this item not be placed in any future agenda for any further discussion, since it's very obvious how you would be giving police and fire department privileges and sending the message of how they are your #1 priority. And the rest of your employees that don't fall in public safety unit do not count for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniela Flores. No more public comments.
Okay.
May I say something?
Yes.
I just want to make it clear, this item is not to demoralize any staff. It has to do with what we've brought before regarding a special tax, and the percentages that are outlined are what our general fund already operates at, so what's already going towards those departments. But it's never intended to take away from the importance of every staff member here. That's all I want to add. Thank you.
Call for a motion for approval to this be placed on the agenda for discussion.
I motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Put it on the agenda?
Yeah, just to put it on.
Just to put on the agenda, it's not to vote whether it's going to be approved or not. If we're going to go regarding to the percentage given to law enforcement, is just to place on the agenda item, and that's when we're going to discuss and vote whether we're going to accept this or not. It's just to be placed on the agenda. Okay, do I have a second?
I seconded it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
No, and the reason I'm voting no is that we had an attorney that did not recommend this action. Thank you.
That's not true. He did
Counsel-
not review this.
Can't discuss it.
Councilmember Marquez,
No.
Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember
And I want to
Noricumbo,
say for the record that that's not accurate information. Thank you.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mayor and City Council, on this item, to clarify, I would recommend, we didn't talk about when it would appear on the agenda. I'd recommend we bring this item back for an initial discussion on July 3rd, and then the council can take further action on, an ordinance is going to be, take a while to draft. So I'd like to get initial discussion, because we haven't had any discussion on it yet, on July 3rd, and then we'll come back. Then we'll go from there, depending
Right.
on the council.
And like the clarification was made, it's not for the approval, it's just to be placed there. We're going to listen to the city attorney's what we cannot discuss right now. So it's just to be placed there. We're not voting for the approval of this item, it's just to be discussed. That's it. Okay? All right.
Thank
you. Okay. Moving on to item number 16. Hearthstone Community discussion regarding potential second road entrance. A call for staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. This was requested by Councilmember Noricumbo, and it was approved by the council for discussion. So we brought the item tonight. We have something on the screen we can put up, and Public Works Director Mr. Jesus will take it from here. Again, this is a report. We'd love to get your comments and further direction on the item, and ideas, thoughts, comments, and we can bring back. This is just more of an initial look at this situation, and we can come back with more if directed.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Actually, this is the first approach to bring a solution for a second entrance and exit to this subdivision as shown on the Exhibit 1. Since the initial second entrance and exit to this subdivision was moving north-south, but there are limitations given by the existing of the canal along the north side of Cole Boulevard. So the natural option is to think about an extension of Spad Moreno Street going west. In this road would end up to German Road. I did a rough calculation of how much would be the investment, and it's roughly $1.4 million. We are talking about 3,700 linear feet of road, 24-foot wide. This because the line should be 12 and 12. Right now, there is an impediment, which is that there is no right-of-way at the parcel in between this subdivision and German Road. The APN is shown right there. So we need to work on the acquisition of the right-of-way, or just work with the owner of the property, because it is actually beneficial for them as well, because if they want to do any development in this area, they will have the same problem of getting access through Cole Boulevard, due to the canal goes from the restaurant that are in the west side toward the existing entrance to the subdivision. So basically, this is as I said, it's a draft, it's the first approach, and based on your direction, we can actually do a further discussion and research. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer.
Well, first of all, we're going to call for public comments.
Alejandra Segura.
Alejandra Segura, Hartson resident. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am here to express my concern regarding our neighborhood lack of a second entrance and to request that the city considers creating an additional access point. Currently, our neighborhood has only one way in and one way out. While this might seem sufficient during normal conditions, it creates a serious safety concern during emergencies. In the event of a fire, traffic accident, flooding, earthquake, or any situation that blocks the existing entrance, residents could become trapped or face dangerous delays when trying to evacuate. Likewise, emergency responders such as firefighters, paramedics, and law enforcement could experience delays reaching those in need. A second entrance will provide a critical alternative route for both residents and emergency services. It could improve public safety, reduce traffic congestion, and increase the overall resilience of our community during emergencies. As our neighborhood continues to grow, it is important that our infrastructure keeps pace with the needs of the residents it serves. This request is not simply about convenience. It is about protecting lives, ensuring access for emergency personnel, and providing residents with peace of mind. We ask the City Council to study the feasibility of a second entrance and prioritize this issue in future planning discussions. We had the experience with the storm in the past. In previous meetings, I discussed that. We had the flood. We have vehicles trapped. With senior citizens trapped, it was a vehicle with senior citizens. My husband was with a 4x4 vehicle helping those senior residents that were trapped in that flooding. So this is just an example. And not only, there were many residents. So thank you for your time, consideration, and commitment to the safety and well-being of our community. Thank you.
Cristian Salgado. No more public comments.
All right, thank you. Moving on to council discussion. Councilmember Diana Kumbo.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Villegas, for the information. However, I want to remind everyone that what was approved unanimously approved on the meeting in March, I think 4th it was, I'm going to quote, what was approved was to fund and build the second entrance to the Hearthstone community. So it took staff 60 days to present this, and I was expecting potential funding sources. You know, it's going to cost 1.4 million. We're thinking maybe this next round from LTA, maybe we can use part of the special taxes that these residents pay on their own. Maybe we can find, you know, those monies that we've been looking for and use that to pay for it. I was really expecting, since it took 60 days, a more in-depth research and proposal, because the request that was unanimously approved was fund and build, not, give us just, we could possibly do this. The request was fund and build, so I was expecting potential funding sources and the idea, which that was part of like the build, that this is the idea, the best way to do it. But yeah, it's kind of like what I just mentioned earlier on item number 12, that there's some items there that are from 2019. This item's here from 2007. So I know you weren't here, none of us were, but this is an item that has had these residents there that of which the residents have been paying a special tax for, 2 special taxes actually in that community. So I'm going to after everyone discusses, because this was an item that I brought up and that I had to literally wait like 3 or 4 months to get the approval from the FPPC to bring this up. And then I had to wait another few days to put it on the agenda, and then I had to wait another 60 days to get this presentation. So I'm gonna request, after everybody has their opportunity, that we bring this back immediately with a proposal for a funding source and the method that the city is recommending we use to build this entrance. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Lisa Talanda?
Yeah, I want to add, SB1 monies can be used. What we just approved, the 4 million, they can be used for this. The LTA can be used for this. There's a lot of options. It's just a matter of the council giving direction and setting it as a priority. But that direction was given a few months ago, so hopefully we can see this back. About how long would this option take? What would be the steps for it? Would you have to get approval, or is it already given? Because some of those areas haven't been final mapped. Right? So how would you go about it?
Obviously the main concern would be to secure the right of way.
Right, and so
So
about how long would
I mean,
that take?
it's hard to say. First, we need to get in contact with the owner.
Mhm.
It could be 2-3 weeks. If they say yes, if they agree, preparation of the map could be probably 2 months. Meanwhile, if the direction is to work on the improvement plans, I mean, it's a fact that it's going to be done. Concurrently, improvement plans can be the preparation. So say 6 months, and then construction, another 3 months. But I'm sorry, but basically, I didn't receive a direction. That's why we work in this presentation. If direction is given to Public Works, I have no doubt we can work on this one.
Awesome, yeah, and there's tentative maps for all that, which we extended, correct?
I'm not sure if there's a tentative map for that.
Tentative maps, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 tentative maps for those areas. Okay, that's neat.
Even better.
Yeah, even better, because it makes it even more enticing to build. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez, any comments?
Well, I think it's a great idea because I know that prior discussions with IID and how we weren't able to build a road across from the canals that are there. So because of public safety and because of the residents have not been given what they deserved, I think this item should move forward.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Yes, emergency access for these families is a legitimate public safety, and we have to do what we have to do to try to give them the second access. Like Councilwoman Marquez was saying, we have met with the IID, and to pipe that canal is not even negotiable. They're not going to spend money in doing that. So I believe that if we go back, I hope that if there's nothing else, that you spend more time in trying to get this done, because it's important. We learned this the last flood, where everybody was trapped in that area, so they need a second access. So please do the best you can to help this community out.
Yes.
So there was also talks about having the widening of that road, and we have talked about that before.
Widening
of the main road that's going in right now.
I mean, it's doable. I mean, but it's not part of this scope of work.
No, yeah, I understand, but
yeah, but
that
I mean,
was-
if direction is to work on the widening, I would entertain the idea to work
So
on that
is
one
it-
as well. I mean, that's,
Before this, there had been talks about widening that road and then the second entrance through future developments, right?
well,
City
apart-
manager.
Are we talking about the widening of Meadows?
I don't know if that's that street. The main
mean,
entrance, the only entrance.
well,
May I?
yeah, no. So, yeah, no, I didn't participate in that discussion, but I mean, if it's the direction, we may work on the widening of the
Well,
access road.
I think the idea that the council member is referring to is if we got a developer to work on that parcel to the east of Meadows, then that developer could contribute and would contribute to the widening of Meadows as a dual entrance. So, that's a good idea, but I think maybe the bigger priority is this, second entrance, to Yorman. What I'd recommend is that this, as all projects that cost, over $1 million or so, we ought to first I would recommend you direct staff and Public Works Director to put together a design with a couple of options. You saw one tonight, which is basically a more expensive asphalt road. Maybe we can do something temporarily that's gonna cost less. That's one idea. So we'll come back on the options of the type of road. And then number two, we'll give an update on the rights of way acquisitions that may be needed, the discussions, to be able to do the road. And then, we'll go from there. So I think we can come back and give a report on July 3rd with, again, the options for the type of road and a detailed discussion of, what it's gonna take to acquire or discuss with these property owners to get legalities to get the road going. As we know, if we need a road, the city deems a road is necessary, we can obtain that encroachment because it's a city purpose, it's a public benefit purpose. But there is a process to that. So that's what I'd recommend. If Jesus, is that fine? Bring that initial part back on July 3rd?
I have a
July
question.
is-
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, but I find it very concerning that two things. We have a policy. We just changed, and then you were just asking, or you just said, if I receive direction, wasn't that policy direction 2 months ago? But isn't that why the council is putting up these forms so that when all five or the majority vote for something, isn't that direction? Just please clarify that.
Well, Councilmember, I think this is a major project, so we couldn't have designed, funded, and brought back a full package in 60 days. That would not be possible with current workloads, et
I
cetera.
understand, but
So this
like
is
I
what-
said, it was proposals. So we're not going to do the package in 60 days, but we could start with a proposal because the direction was not see the possibility of doing it. It was fund and build. And now we're even looking or contemplating widening of the road, which is another concern because I don't remember speaking about widening of a road. So what's going on? What's being talked about? We were supposed to talk here about it. So who brought up the idea of widening a road? Because we haven't spoken about it here in public. We were talking about a second entrance always. We don't, the road could be 50, 1,000 feet wide. It serves no purpose if we don't have a second entrance. So who's talking about widening of a road? Because it appears like there were discussions that should have been made here in public.
That was during the meeting with the IID. That's when it happened.
I was in a meeting with the IID.
No, you were not.
No, oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was in a meeting with the IID last year. Mr. Villegas, was I not in that meeting with the IID last year?
I quite frankly, I
You were
don't
there,
remember.
yes, you were
Yeah,
there.
but, yeah.
It was with the
It's
the
highly
manager,
possible.
the water operations manager. Yes, I was in
Oh,
that
oh,
meeting.
okay,
You,
yeah.
you guys could have had a second meeting, but I initiated that meeting. And he
nobody's-
is the one that gave us the idea to do the back road, okay?
And that's not a matter of.
No, it is a matter because it means you're discussing this item that's supposed to be discussed in public. You're discussing it behind the scenes.
So then you never discussed this with the IID, or did you?
We brought in the IID to look at the bridge, bridge,
So then
not
you
about
spoke.
widening.
So did you speak to the IID?
Yes, I did. I just told you I did.
It's the same thing
When
I
I was
did.
the mayor and we were having those meetings.
It is the same thing I did.
It is not the same thing because the action here was the second entrance, never to widen it.
When we spoke with the
Okay,
IID,
yeah,
that
okay.
was one of
To
them.
me, it's very clear what's happening. Anyway, the direction that I understood was to fund and build. So if we don't have that option right now, then let's please not take another 60 days to bring something forward. This is already it's taking too long. I'm being patient. The other day, we had an item that somebody put up here, and it was brought up in the next council meeting, and I requested this item 60 days ago, or more, I think. It went a little bit further. And then we just get the idea that the IID gave us a year ago. I was presented that idea a year ago already. So, what's the point of us putting these agenda items and waiting all this time, and then we get what we already knew was the idea?
Yeah, just for the record, I was the one proposing this option, not IID, this exit. And then my concern back then and now is that we do not own right away. As I said, my instruction was not to prepare anything. If I get direction, I'll do it, but I cannot do it without direction. Simple.
So there was no direction on March 4th?
Okay. This is, I think it's a very complicated project. We can't do it within 60 days. We can't bring back a full report. What I'd recommend is bring back, we'll talk to the Public Works Director about when, but bring back because we can do the road that he's talking about now, we can do something more simple. This is gonna be expensive. I don't think it's gonna be within the budget for capital, generally speaking, capital improvements. So I would recommend we talk about options, the types of roads that can be built here, and the general costs, what that will be, and then also have a discussion on, a more detailed discussion about the rights of way, what will be needed, and how long that will take. With that information, then we can get further direction, and then we can go to plans creation and funding capacity. We probably will have enough money to design the road. That's gonna take some time. We can do it in phases like we do most projects. We'll fund the design of it, and then after the design is done, then we can look at other sources for the actual construction, depending on the option that we choose. I just don't think we're gonna do this in one bite. This is a pretty major project. It's gonna take some time. And
What did you do in 60 days, other than that picture?
Council member, we don't just work, this gentleman here, the Public Works Director, works on so many things. He's very distracted working on a laundry list of work. He doesn't work on this over a 60-day period. He's busy doing other assignments, and then as we get to the date, we say, oh, we gotta provide this report, and we provide the report, but it's not the only thing he's working on. Unfortunately, that's the case. There's just so many things we're working on that we can't drop the process on the work that he's working on to do this. We did provide a report within the 60 days. I apologize if it didn't meet the sort of the direction of the council. However, I will say this: we can't fund and build within 60 days. That would be too aggressive. He wouldn't have the time to do that, and we need to do this in pieces. And I think the first piece would be to look at the type of road, because there's going to be a big difference depending on the direction. Emergency roads can be done in a way where it's an emergency road. I don't think we're looking at this road to be something to be used on a daily basis. It's an emergency. So we probably should look at building a road that is less inexpensive but meets a purpose for an emergency situation only at this time. And then when we see the future development of that parcel in the middle and maybe other development in and around the commercial areas there, then we can build a more permanent road that will, can be used on a daily basis and be higher quality.
Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
city manager, how much time do you need to bring back this item, give us options, give us costs, and so forth?
Councilmember Thalanda had the first question to ask. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just have a question for information. So if there was, and Jesus and city manager, if there was talks with the IID, was there ever a request made to the IID for the pipeline by Public Works? Did you ever request that?
Oh,
Did you
yeah,
ask?
we talk about that, and
But did you request for the pipeline to be done? Did you officially request it?
not official. There is actually an agenda item within the IID for piping the canal, but they already abandoned that idea. So
Yeah.
it was part of the discussion, but they said, no, we're not going to do it in the short time.
Okay, because they've been talking about that many years, right?
Yes,
And I
yes.
think the last time that I can recall was like 2021, so I'm just curious if we did officially request it, because the pipeline is 75% IID and 25% city, the cost share.
Yep.
So maybe that would be easier and quicker to do if, I don't know how much that's gonna cost, but, I mean, maybe around $4 million, who knows? But I just was curious if we had like officially requested that from the IID, even though they shot it down. It would be something good to consider, because
They're very reluctant to work on undergrounding that. It's extremely expensive, and it's not just the cost, it's the impact of the flow of the water and so forth. So it's not just money. I think it's pretty much a no.
Okay.
They don't want to do that.
Yeah, but we
But we did
discussed
have
the
a
option.
good
Yeah.
discussion with them.
yeah, because I was just curious, because if we did a formal request, like what was the status on that or
Yeah,
anything?
we
So
did.
we
We
did
did
it.
do that.
Okay, thank you.
Before we go any further, I'd like to make a motion to extend our time for about another hour.
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda?
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lencha Calderon, you had a comment?
No, I was just asking the city manager, we talk about options, we talk about costs. How long would it take to get back to us and get this item back to the agenda?
Okay, yeah, let me think if I understand it right, because, I mean, I don't want to be in these dynamics many times.
You want to write it down?
Yeah, if what council wants is something not ready for construction, but a substantial completion of the project, July 1st is not even an option. It's not even an option. We have many other projects, but this is not less important. What I'm saying is that to prepare a draft of the improvement plans to get the cost estimate and to get in contact to the owner of the property in between is going to take at least 3 to 4 months. If you want to see something tangible, as Councilmember Noricumbo is asking for. But to start doing that, I've been repeatedly several times, I need direction. I need a specific direction, work on the project, prepare the plans, because we need to invest time and money. So to do that, someone must to tell us, do it, and we can go start working on that.
Mayor, may I ask one more question?
Okay.
If given direction, right, I know it's a whole process you
Yeah.
have to contact. something real simple like emergency access, class 2 base, that kind of thing. Would that be something that you guys would be able to prepare in-house?
That's different scenario.
Yeah, something very simple.
Yeah, unfortunately, my understood from Councilmember Noricumbo is to construct a road. I mean, an actual road. But if it's an emergency road, it's actually way cheaper.
To drive on it, get permission and everything, obviously.
Yeah, we can do that, definitely. We can do that, and the only restriction, not restriction, but actually the main issue is just to get permission or secure the right of way from the parcel in between.
Right, and then it'd be something that you guys would bring back, something super low cost that people would be able to access, emergency accesses,
yes.
Some very, solar lighting, et cetera, that kind of stuff. Okay,
yeah. Oh no, that's way different scenario.
Yeah, because
I just
that's
want
that's
to
something
be
quick.
clear.
All you really need is to get the permission. You could design it in-house, right?
Yes. We have I mean, we can do everything.
Everything.
As you said, excepting that is not going to be a paved road. Right. It's not a asphalt concrete road, and it's going to be something really simple for emergencies. That's a different scenario.
And that's pretty quick, right?
Paper street.
I was asking the Public Works Director if that area below Ashley is essentially a paper street. Is that, we already have the right-of-way there?
Yeah, no, the right-of-way, is there.
Right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only right-of-way that we need to require
yeah.
is the one, the parcel in between.
So staff needs to talk to that parcel member in the middle, and then at the direction of the council, we could come back with a report as to, how long and how much it would cost to do, and we'd want to really show you what the street's going to look like. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
examples of this type of street.
I would say July 1st is not. I mean, at least the second meeting in July to get something that you can actually review and give us further direction. Yeah, because here, I mean, we can do we can use our drone to get the initial topography alignment. Meanwhile, get in contact with the owner of the property.
If you give us all the number, we can all call. Just kidding, but yeah. We'll all call.
No, if someone knows the owner, I mean, that it will facilitate communication. I mean, for an access road, emergency road, I don't see an issue. It's just the fact that a permanent street, which is what I understood initially, that's a different scenario. But here, I mean, whatever the direction is, Public Works is ready to move forward.
Well, I do agree that we do need two roads for safety reasons. But obviously, I do concur with Councilmember Thailenda, reference to some form of an emergency access, something that is accessible in and out. But eventually, in time, I'm sure we're going to build it a lot more stronger. Do give us the options. The follow-ups on maybe on every council meeting. Give us an update on what's going on to make sure that that this goes through, because it has been such a long time for the Hearthstone families out there that and I do remember the time that it was raining. There was I don't know which storm name it was, where everybody was stuck there for about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to. Go ahead and work on the process. Give us a report on every council meeting if possible, because this is very important. Reference to how this is going to come about. So that's my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Moving on to number 17, adopt budget amendment resolutions to relocate Fund Number 255, American Rescue Plan, it's a long night, ARPA in the amount of $349,279, and Fund Number 111, General Fund, in the amount of $19,000 for the purchase of thermoplastic stripping equipment, asphalt crack sealing equipment, and supplemental funding for temporary part-time employees for various street maintenance projects. Do I have a staff report? I'm sure I do.
Yes, good evening again. Anyway, well, this is a report we prepared, I guess, 2 council meetings ago. We are getting back because it was tabled. Anyways, Public Works Department is requesting this reallocation of the funding because 2 main reasons. One is this funding, is ARPA funds, are about to expire. So the city is not been using it for many years. I wasn't here when those were secured for these specific projects. But those projects, won't happen. We don't have the time, and we need different needs right now. The immediate need that Public Works Department has identified is to start a maintenance program for our streets. We have obviously streets that need to be grind and overlay, so that's the worst section, and we have spoke about that many times. But at the same time, we have many areas of the city with streets in fairly good conditions, but you can see the cracks. So those cracks that initially are just hairlines, they start growing up, and that caused accelerated oxidation of the asphalt, which eventually destroys the roads. So what we want to do is to start this program, apply crack sealing to eliminate the risk that the water and the humidity is going through the cracks and eventually destroy the asphalt. And at the same time, another task that I have seen is kind of bleeding our budget is that we need to restripe several times because we're using paint, regular paint. The problem with the paint is that doesn't last as long as we need. Our weather is really aggressive, so after 1 or 2 months, the regular paint is gone. So what we are proposing is to use thermoplastic technology. With that type of striping, I feel comfortable to say that it's going to last at least 2 years, if not more. So basically combining the crack sealing program to preserve the streets and the crack sealing and the thermoplastic striping will restore a really good part of the streets, and we can focus meanwhile in the grind and overlay of the other roads that are already gone. So as I said, the reason to request this funding is because they are about to expire. So I had to see these monies to get back to the feds when we need the needs, and we have at least a good alternative to use it and give our community a fresh start in many areas.
Just to add, Mayor and City Council, so Director of Public Works will, he's already started this process, but he'll finalize the costs of this equipment and supplies to do this project, and we'll bring those back to City Council for review and approval before they're actually purchased. So this is just a reallocation, and then with the reallocation done, if it's approved, then we have the confidence that we can really move forward with the pricing of these equipment and supplies, and then we'll bring those back for approval by the City Council.
Yeah, and basically just to give a little bit more information about this, I began with this idea back, I would say, December, January. So even before knowing these fundings were available. So basically, the project for purchasing crack sealing and thermoplastic equipment began before knowing these funds. And the reason is because we are really concerned that if we don't act right now, we are going to have more and more streets in really bad conditions. over the time, and we got quotes, but those quotes are back in December, January. So we just need to call again the vendors and give you guys an updated quote. Obviously, I still feel comfortable that with this money we can get the equipment, and obviously, beside the equipment, we need to buy the supplies. And since we are Public Works doesn't have enough staff right now for all the responsibilities we have, part of the money is to hire temporary workers to expedite the program. So eventually, once I don't know, 6 months down the road, once a good part of the city is under the restoration, we can look for another source of funding for temporary staffing.
Okay, do we have any call for public comments, please?
Ricardo Romero.
Hi, Ricardo Romero. I would like to ask for extra time, although I may not need it.
Just a quick reminder, why are you asking for an extended time?
Disability.
Okay, well, a minute and a half.
All right. On item 17, the proposed reallocation of ARPA funds. As you may know, ARPA is a federal program governed by the U.S. Treasury guideline. The deadline for allocation was December 30th, I believe, 2025, last year. Any reallocation of those funds to new uses after initial programming requires compliance with federal eligibility rules and may require Treasury approval or notification. I'm asking for confirmation on the record tonight. Has this reallocation received the required federal and state sign-off? Mr. City Attorney, has Treasury been notified? Is there any compliance memo from the City Attorney confirming this reallocation meets all federal requirements? This is a topic that Lisa and I touched on social media platform and had reassurance that she would ask the City Attorney. Lisa, can I ask you, did you ask him?
I have that question. That's what I'm about to ask publicly.
No, yeah.
If that confirmation is not available tonight, I would ask this council to table the item until that documentation is in hand and made public. Spending federal COVID recovery money without proper authorization is the kind of thing that results in clawbacks and audits. The community deserves to know the answer before the vote. So please do your due diligence and get that signed off before you reallocate, because I know that we've already done it with park money that went into surveillance cameras. Is that correct? ARPA money? Was there a memo from City Attorney to the no? Okay, thank you.
Ismael Arvizo.
Buenas noches, everyone. I'd like to be in full opposition to this item because ARPA are American Rescue Plan Acts, which were funded by federal money. These are federal monies that come in for the rehabilitation of the impacts of COVID. We've gone through this argument, 3 years ago, when Raul and Gilberto proposed a new plan that would rehabilitate downtown, bring in infrastructure, even Wi-Fi for the community of downtown. My biggest pet peeve in Calexico is that we believe that restrooms are not a necessity. And we're serving with courteous and respectful manner. We have to be mindful of the people that use downtown. And that would involve putting restrooms in downtown. I understand that the streets need securing and, make sure we don't destroy them before it's too late. But the streets were the least impacted by COVID. And ARPA funds are supposed to help the people that were most impacted by COVID. Since they closed the restrooms, it's like, oh, it's COVID. Homeless people will get in. Okay, there's no more COVID. We can try to put a restroom somewhere. And I feel like $350,000 is enough money to at least try an initiative. There are so many initiatives that ARPA we're gonna create. They had an emergency fund for parks, which was $500,000, $500,000 that got allocated to somewhere else. I think it's just a distrust and just a lack of there was so much work put right in front of you, and you just disassembled it and put it wherever you put it. I don't think police are the priority when it comes to COVID, but we bought cars, and then you asked for more money for an like an invisible police car, right? So I think it's just sad that COVID funds are going to the street. Sí ocupa pavimentarse la calle, pero there's grants for that. There's infrastructure, other ways we can find that funding. And to just a little sprinkle, because I wasn't understanding of the whole Hearthstone community. If it's going to be an emergency road, just put some gravel and put a sign, right? That community needs that second exit. But I think more than an exit, I think a community needs drinking fountains in their parks, restrooms in their parks. And that's what ARPA money can definitely give you. It was also, there was money to give Wi-Fi in downtown, make a little space for the unsheltered community to be in one specific space so they don't go roaming all around downtown. ARPA could change Calexico in many ways, but if we just hide it and put like the maintenance of streets, it's just gonna blend into everything. But these, just like my friend just said over there, these funds have a specific purpose. So I recommend everyone to watch the guidelines, make sure you're not doing anything out of regulation, and do justice with the money that was given for that purpose. It's like if you get a grant for whatever, the police force, and you really don't give it to the police force, you give it somewhere else. Let's be respectful with the money given. Thank you.
No more comments.
No more public comments? All right. Moving on to council discussion. Councilmember Diana Nudukumbo.
Yes, thank you. Could you guys clarify if we even have any deadlines for ARPA funds? Because last year I was told by a staff member, and I just want to clear it up. Maybe you can clear it up for me. Was that when this funding came about a few years ago, that the city immediately submitted, well, not immediately, but in a short time span, submitted all those allowable expenses to the feds for ARPA, and kind of used certain stuff to pay from the general fund, and then were reimbursed with ARPA. So I was told that the whole ARPA account with the feds was already closed out. And then I keep hearing that ARPA this, ARPA that, move from here, move from there, but please clarify in public if this account has been closed out with the federal agency that issued that money.
So when this first happened at the beginning, initially, we reported, and this is, I mean, I wasn't here back then, but this is from what I hear. We reported the whole 9.5 million that we got as salaries. It was pretty much public safety salaries. So because we were under that 10 million threshold, that we were able to use it all for general services, so we reported everything as salaries. And so according to city attorney direction that we got back then, or they said that we were able to do that. And then since we reported it like that to the government, then we can do our reallocations internally.
Yeah, so we have no deadlines with the feds.
Well, December 31, 2026, I would say is the deadline to spend the money.
But we already spent it.
Yes, but we still have to report. I mean, we still have to do quarterly reporting, and we
Okay, so that's my question.
Yeah, we still, it's not completely closed. We still have to do reporting.
Okay, so it's just a reporting, but I just want to clear that up because I just hear everywhere that they're moving, this from there, and that's what I was told, that it was already submitted, it was already expended. When we got reimbursed, we put it back to the general fund. And so then that's why I'm always confused every time they're talking about, oh, we're going to move this away from ARPA. It's general fund. ARPA was already expensed a few years ago. So yeah, if you're reporting, I just want to clear this up because is there a deadline? Is there in fact a deadline that we have to spend it? Because you're telling me one thing that the expense was allowed, so we did that many years ago, so then why are we still talking about ARPA funding? It's general fund, according to what I'm understanding.
We have a separate fund for it. So everything's, it wasn't like that we put the money into the general fund, because we do need to track all the different projects that were appropriated. We do have a different fund for it, and we keep track of each project and how much has been spent, the available balance.
Which is good for transparency, but the question is there a deadline that we have to meet with the federal agency?
December 31, 2026.
Does it make it, I'm not getting the if we already expensed the 9 million a few years back, what is the deadline that we're meeting?
I'll look into it, but I believe because we still have to do reporting, and we have to report, like if we do reallocations and things like that. I think that's why, but I'll double check.
Okay, well, that's my only question, because I hear every council meeting there's ARPA funds, and I was told we were done with that. That's all my question.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yeah, so, is it, okay. So, what, is this ARPA funding? Because
Yes.
we're
The
told that it's
reallocation?
not. So the reallocation, so we do have ARPA money still left.
Yes,
'Cause now I'm
we have
confused.
around 3-point-something million. That's
Okay,
been,
yeah.
It's been appropriated or allocated. It just hasn't been spent.
Okay, yeah.
It might be
and-
less now, because I know departments are spending. They're beginning to spend their funds. So it might be less now, but like the last time I checked, it was like 3-something million.
Okay, and one of the questions that I was getting from a community member is if it is legal, do we have to ask for permission to the state or the federal government to move it around?
But because we originally we allocated the funding to salary and benefits, and we reported it like that, we don't have to ask permission for reallocations, but we have to report them.
Hold on.
And then we do have something from a city attorney in writing, saying that we were able to do this. But if we want, we can go ahead and call or contact the government to check.
I think that would be a good idea. But, so, I mean, you should always ask if it's doable, everything. But if staff feels confident and we have it in legal writing, I mean, that's also a factor to consider. But with that said, I do think that I do have some questions, and then I'll probably come back to you. But regarding this item, the $300 and change thousand that is being asked to be reallocated for cracks to be sealed. Which cracks are we sealing? Because you mentioned we had a crack sealing program. I haven't seen it.
No.
Because you mentioned that we did have a crack sealing program. So which cracks are we looking to seal? Because I always ask for maps, so I would have loved to have seen a map
I mean,
for the cracks to be sealed.
there is no crack sealing program at this time.
Okay.
There is no crack. So I've been in conversations with city manager about the benefits of having a crack sealing program, but we don't have the equipment and we don't have the funding, right?
Right.
As to the maps, I mean, I can just get an aerial picture of the city, and the whole city has cracks.
No, I know that, but I was looking for, I mean, money's being asked to be reallocated to buy equipment, and then to purchase not only that, but the material to
Yes.
do the crack sealing. So I was anticipating seeing a map, because then, I mean, you're going to buy that, and then what areas, right? So I would have liked to have seen that with the proposal, because in theory, we're voting to reallocate the money to this equipment and see how much we would get out of it, right? Because 300 and that, what is it, like 380? That, or 349?
350.
350? That's not a lot of material. I mean, the equipment breakdown and all that. So anyway, what I'm saying is that I would have liked to have seen additional information, how much we would get. Obviously, the equipment's an investment that can be used for years down the line.
Yeah.
But the initial investment, to get an idea of where we would start, how much the material would cover, in essence, apart from just the equipment and the temporary employees, where we would start. I always ask for that, so if we can see some maps in the future, that would be great. We do need a crack sealing equipment. We do need a program. But when comments come up from the community in questioning the process, the transparency, the legality of it, it's important that we as a council consider those factors. And also, now I'm going to go this way. I do really like the idea. So of ARPA, I know we're considering this, but ARPA, there is a need downtown for restrooms. So I really like that comment. I mean, if we're looking at reallocating money, I think that we need to look at the entirety of it, because that money, Ms. Chaparro, was supposed to be, can you tell us where the money was going, what projects it was allocated for? Because I believe that was for the chamber. That room has a leak, water's leaking through the roof there, and to fix that roof, which is probably moldy. Can you kind of give us a background of what it was supposed to be used for initially?
Yes, so it's council chambers, city hall carpet replacement, United Families new AC. So leftovers is remaining funds from those projects. For the city council chamber, United Families facilities, city hall facilities, essential worker relief program, local assessment center, and then upgrades for vehicle charging. So all those different projects had remaining funds, and some of them haven't even been used, and that's where the reallocation's coming from.
Right. Oh, okay. And so that money was, if I remember correctly, was going to be used to fix that room there and fix the chambers and outfit it, with different, okay. And that's what we're
It was
moving.
meant for that originally.
and getting new technology so that we could have people on Zoom, not on the phone.
Yes.
Are we still going to be doing that? Are we still going to invest in that? Do we have monies elsewhere coming so we don't have to have people on the phone like this on Zoom when we call in?
Well, we no longer, if we do the reallocation, we won't have those funds anymore.
Oh, so
Not
we
for
wouldn't
council
be,
chambers.
we wouldn't be
I
getting
think
that
we left-
technology in the council chambers? So that's what we're moving, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think
Correct.
we're stepping in phases. We're no longer have that projector. We're using the televisions, and we bought laptops and the lights and the paint in here. We do have insurance proceeds coming our way soon for new flooring in here and other things. We're doing it little by little. Further technological improvements, that room will be handled by insurance proceeds. We're still talking to the insurance company about the roof of City Hall, so it's in process.
Okay, I just don't want
Yeah.
it to be ignored and then the money moved and not have those things, because it's important that we have technology for people who are tuning in from, all over. So, all right, that's all I have to ask. Thank you.
Councilmember Adriana Marquez.
Well, I think this is a very good use of these funds, because one of the things that we always get complaints about is how bad our streets are looking. So I am all in favor of this. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Yes. Wow. The only question I have, and I mean, it was brought up today, and I'm going to ask the attorney, how long would it take to verify that we are able to move these ARPA funds into what we're trying to do here?
Having not seen any of these documents, I can't give you an answer to that right now. I'm not sure whose approval you are seeking. My experience with the federal government is, depending on who it is you want to speak to or seek approval from, it could take anywhere from months to years. I'm involved in an issue where I have to wait at least 9 to 12 months to get a response to any question. So that's the time frame, the glacial time frame you're looking at when dealing with the federal government.
Yeah, 'cause
so it
these-
really depends on who you're trying to reach.
And these funds are going to expire this year, the end of the
Yeah, I
December 31st?
I think by the next meeting, I'm looking at the finance director, we could get an idea, we can get the question on the expiration of the funds.
Yeah.
And we can also get direction on the viability to reallocate.
Yes.
I think we should be able to, because we know who we're speaking to. Hopefully, we should be able to contact them quickly. So I would ask the council to, move forward on this item. We'll bring back that information. We're not spending any money yet. We're just reallocating. And then, if everything's a go, then we finalize it at the next meeting.
Next meeting would be when? The 1st?
The 17th.
The 7th? All right, and the reason I'm bringing this up is like Council Marquez, there is a lot of complaints from our community that our streets are falling apart. This city has been neglected for many years. And if we don't start repairing these streets, in 5 years, it's going to be more expensive to repair streets in Calexico. We can save, I would say, what, 50%, 60% of our streets, Mr. Villegas?
Yeah, and basically, this is a preservation effort, because you don't want to spend millions of dollars just for not doing this simple program, and it's the most popular program probably around the world to preserve streets. Other cities in the Imperial Valley are doing it. I actually began this program in the city of Imperial, and you witness the very success of the efforts to preserve the streets.
Yeah, I witnessed this process, and it helps a lot to preserve the streets in our community. So if you can follow up, city manager, and get these questions asked, if we need to ask permission or make it legal, I would appreciate it, because it is needed.
Yeah, obviously, the infrastructure of our streets not only fixes all these issues such as slight potholes and whatever, it's a safety factor. I do have faith when you put something like this together, you guys look into the legality behind it, correct? I mean, you guys, I would assume, with the assistance of Carla and Public Works and the city manager, I mean, you would look at if it's legal or not, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, but we'll double check.
Okay, so if we approve this tonight and then by next week, will you have this answer by?
I think we can get the answers by next week. So you don't have to prove it tonight. We can continue it to the next meeting. We'll get the answers, and then you can take action, and we'll just be more conservative that way.
I know we have a special meeting next Wednesday, correct? Do we have
10?
We do.
Yeah, budget.
A budget meeting. Is there any way with the approval?
We can try. We can add that to the agenda if we're ready.
If it were tabled or not? Okay, and you'll get that answer by then?
We'll try. It's not a matter of, we can
May
make the
I ask a
calls,
question?
but will they answer?
And it will go on the following regular meeting, correct?
We can try for the special meeting. We can add it on. It'd be a quick item. If not, we'll come back at the regular meeting on the 17th.
Okay, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm just curious. From what's been shared with, we're not revenue-wise, we're not, doing that great. And so I'm curious, if we're funding this equipment, what is the proposed longevity of the program? So how are we gonna keep it going after the initial investment if we're gonna do the part-time employees? I just want more information on that for the next time, like how you propose to keep the program every year going. Is it gonna be like a seasonal thing before school? And how we're gonna be funding the employees, or who's gonna be doing it, that kind of thing. Because if we're making the investment, how are we gonna keep it going if we have to hire the part-time employees, and that's only for a little while, right? And then I'd like to see kind of maybe really rough, simple, how much crack sealing, like lengthwise, would be done with that amount of initial investment and like how we're going to keep funding that too. Like
Yeah,
the
that
proposed-
is extremely hard to say because the size of the cracks are definitely way different even from one street to the other.
Okay.
So that part I see is really hard. As to the longevity of the program is from approving forever.
No, but
because-
how are you going to fund the
No,
positions?
no, yeah. So basically, the challenge is how we are going to keep this rolling. And the question is not if we are going to keep it rolling. What we have been doing, and we already secured some funding for staffing. So basically, this money, because we don't want, first of all, we don't want to lose the money, which is in risk, all right? So we are going to use first this, the whatever is left from buying the equipment and the supplies for this additional temporary staffing. However, we are working for additional grants for staffing. I mean, we're continually working on that. It's not that it's going to stop. And typically, the only season we don't want to use it is July, August, because it's way too hot. But other than that, the rest 10 months can be using. And my view is to keep this, I mean, as long as we have asphalt roads, this program shall remain for the benefit of the city. If you don't want to be bleeding because you have to be reconstructing streets, the answer is start preservation. And this is the one. The equipment typically is about 5-10 years. It depends on how hard we're using the equipment. And as I said, I mean, we already secured some money for staffing. We are going to use first this because we don't want to lose them. And eventually, it's a continuous effort to find the grants for temporary staffing.
If I may interrupt you, you mentioned that you secured the money. What money?
It's another grant.
Oh, which one?
I don't remember the exact name, but
Okay.
it's
But we've
already
already
secured.
gotten it? We already got it awarded?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
So I'm gonna go ahead and motion and table this because we have so many
Yeah.
questions
All right.
going on here,
Awesome.
left and right. Thank you. So,
would
and
like-
and it's always good to listen to the audience because, like, I think it was Councilmember Talenda or you had mentioned, sometimes we think that we know the answers, and when we have audience coming up and mention the word possible, laws and whatever, it shines a light into it. So thank you for bringing that up. And I was ready to vote yes on it, but I don't want us to get in trouble federally. So can we table this for this coming special meeting on Wednesday?
Mayor, I would table it to the 17th. If we can bring
Okay.
something back
I
on
was
the
trying to
10th,
rush.
which is doubtful, we'll try, but at 17th.
And can I ask a question before I go?
No, no questions.
What about the funds that you already reallocated? You already reallocated
Sir?
funds.
Why don't you leave? You're out of order, sir. Completely out of order.
You already reallocated.
Okay,
funds,
thank you.
Right? We need to reallocate them back. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to, I'm making a motion to table. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda,
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Oh, okay, going on to number 18. Weekly Street Improvement Federal Aid Project number CM-5168, parentheses, 032. A, award bid proposal and authorize city manager to sign construction agreement between the City of Calexico and Rove Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $645,279.80. Base bid plus alternate bid for weekly street improvement federal aid project number CML 5168-032. Authorize city manager to approve any future change orders and not to exceed $96,791.97. 50% of the Rove Engineering Incorporated base bid plus alternate bid as per city ordinance number 1218. I'm sure we have a call for staff report, please.
Yes, good evening. Again, This is a project funded through CIMAC, which is Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Program. So basically, this is grant money. We already work on the preparation, obviously, the improvement plans. The road was previously selected even before my time and approved by ICTC. The extent of the segment is between Scaroni Avenue and Portico Boulevard, which is an area with heavy semi-trucks. So basically, the intention is to mitigate the dust pollution in the area and obviously benefits the city as a whole. The project, as you have seen, is $645,000 and change. I'm not sure if you have any questions or concerns. Yeah, I would say this is a win-win situation. It's money that is a fresh money coming from a grant, and we are fixing a real concern for our city, which is the dust pollution.
Okay. Call for public comments? No? Okay, call for council comments. Council discussion? Councilmember Tenen Udukumbo?
Just, let me see real quick again. I couldn't pull up the backup, but it's fiscal impact. Is it, I'm sorry, this was already budgeted for?
Yes, and it's grant money from CIMAC.
Okay, I have no issues then.
Councilmember Lisa Teleda?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Adriana Marquez?
No comment.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanchard Calderon?
Yes, the only comment I have is on the change order of $96,000. Why so high?
Because it's the unknown of what is beneath that area. Typically, we're not anticipating to do any change orders at this time, obviously, but we don't want to delay the project because of the need of getting back to here. Typically, in the industry, it's 50% of the bid amount. So we are not asking for anything extravagant or different than other cities. I have done numerous projects, and I have never seen any other contingency than 15%.
Okay, thank you.
Well, definitely that street needs improvement weekly. In my patrol days, that was hard ground to drive on, and looking for just the killing of the tires. So. I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to approve. Second by Mayor Pro Tem Calderon. Must be a long night. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Going on to informational items, I'm just going to whiz through it. Informational item number 19, receive and file Library Board of Trustees minutes for special meeting on April the 13th, 2026. Number 20, receive and file Community Service Commission minutes for regular meeting of April 8th, 2026. And item number 21, draft budget prioritization plan for the year 2026 and 2027. All three items they were acknowledged and received. Okay. Call for a motion for an adjournment.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Blanchard Calderon, second by Councilmember Noricumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Meeting adjourned at 10:25 p.m. Thank you.